Here. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. First thing we do is restart the game. That skips off to all the grandpa dialogue, and there's a lot of resets really early in the run. I'll introduce myself. I'm RobotJesus420. I researched and rounded this game pretty heavily over the last year, based a lot off of the work of 2 people here on commentary with me if they want to introduce themselves.
G. Hines.
And I'm Desert.
And right now, what we're going to do to start with is we're just going to sleep all the way through the first season. Basically, the game itself is kind of different from a lot of other Harvest Moon games. It's very basic. It came out in '97, about a year after Harvest Moon Super Nintendo came out. And it doesn't have any sort of like relationships or marriage, so the speedrun category that's been up on speedrun.com for the longest time is the idea of, I think we got game audio, so good to hear. You all can listen to these sweet Salter tunes of Harvest Moon for Game Boy.
Nice.
There's some good music. I like the
Summer. It's pretty good.
Yeah, Summer
is
pretty good. Yeah. The first event here is the horse event, and I just get one of those, and we go back to bed.
You were saying, though, the category.
Yeah, the category. So with Ranch Master, it's kind of looking for you to get the credits of the game. There's 3 different versions of Harvest Moon Game Boy. There was originally Game Boy Japanese, Game Boy USA. Then there was a Game Boy Color version that was only released in USA and Europe, from what I can tell. And the credits come when you've met the requirements for Grandpa to say that you've lived up to his expectations. He comes back at the end of every year and will judge you. And based on his judgment, he'll either give you a land expansion the first year, and then every year after that, he'll give you a tool, like the pickaxe, which allows you to get through a secret room, or the umbrella, which will initiate rain for the following day. If you've met all of the requirements, though, you will get the credits, and in the USA and I'm assuming color version, you'll get a little trophy. In the Japanese, you don't get a trophy. That leads into some of the confusion we might get into later when we talk about the history of the speedrun for this game and its wild roller coaster history. Anyway, so right now, there's just a lot going on early on and then not going on later on. What we're trying to wait for is the earthquake event. The earthquake event happens between the 2nd and 10th day of summer of year 1. And the earthquake has a few effects. The 2 we're looking for is that the harvest sprite in the cave gets trapped under a rock and the harvest goddess becomes available. The harvest goddess allows us to upgrade our axe, which lets us clear out some stumps, which gives us a little bit of material and saves us a little bit of time. This is the picnic event on Spring 27. We say no, we can't have a picnic on my farm, and we go back to bed. So between the 2nd and 10th of this coming season, we will get that earthquake event, and the big one that we're looking for is that harvest sprite will be stuck under a rock, and we exploit that to basically up some of our necessary requirements for that Ranch Master conclusion. G. Hines, now I'm a little unsure on this. In the Japanese translation, there's an earthquake, really early earthquake. In the Japanese translation, does Grandpa talk about Ranch Master?
Yeah, he does, yeah. That's the thing. That's what I find funny, that they added the trophy to the English, because he does use the term Ranch Master when he's talking to you. But I can see why it was confusing to people who first played the game, because, it's just sort of unclear.
Okay, so what we're doing here is we're exploiting a little bit of an affection bonus. Every time you hit the sprite under the rock with a hammer to free him from the rock, you will gain plus 10 happiness and plus 10 affection just for the event. If you restart the game before the rock break animation happens, you can go back into the cave and do the exact same thing again. So there's a little bit of a delay on what I'm doing is I'm playing on a GameCube with look at that, it's yellow. played on a GameCube with a Game Boy player with a Japanese cartridge. And one of the effects of that is it emulates the Game Boy Color emulator and or whatever you would call it. And the Game Boy Color would allow you to change the palette based on the direction you were holding the directional pad when the game started up. Yeah, so you could do yellow, red, blue, green. Earlier today I was practicing this manipulation, and I got it to be like inverted colors.
I think you can combine it with buttons as well as directions.
Yeah, I think one of the buttons gives like some black light trippy experience. So I'm trying to do this
or something.
Okay, well.
But wait, you said the earthquake is between the 2nd and the 10th? I thought it was on a set day.
No, it's definitely not on a set day, at least not in this version.
Okay,
on the GameCube Color is the only one I haven't played around with. So I'm trying to do this 10 times. I think I'm at 3. I'll get into more of the requirements later, but I really want to be safe about this because this can be a run killer, and you wouldn't find out until an hour in. So
did you explain why you're doing this? So you're doing this for happiness, right? You said that.
Yeah, I'm doing it for 2 reasons. ZMTV and Harkness, glad to have you in here. We are doing it because we want the Harvest Sprite to give us the Power Berry, which he does at plus 10 affection. And I can get into his thing other than that. The other one is happiness. And this gets into just the mass confusion of the game. In the Japanese version, you need 250 happiness at the end requirements to get the credits. In the USA version, happiness doesn't seem to matter. I've never played with it on color, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, this has been a big thing lately that Jesus has been looking into that I didn't figure out at the beginning. I guess I just played mostly on Japanese, if I remember.
Yeah, that's it. You could do that Japanese translation. It was just easier for me to do it on US.
Well, not just that, but also as soon as I found, we'll get to the dupe later, the main trick that you use in the run is extremely easy on, I don't know why it's different, honestly, between the versions, but it's just easier to pull off on Japanese, so I think that's why I was playing it on Japanese.
I couldn't tell you why it happens that way, but once we get to basically the end of the route, as I have it routed, you have 175 happiness if you never did the sprite at all. So you need to do the sprite about 8 times. I believe that as soon as that hammer comes out, those values are rewritten to be plus 10 on sprite affection and happiness.
Right.
But I want to put a good 11 or 12 in here just to be sure.
Okay.
That and you can tell basically if you go into the end of the year, Grandpa will tell you your happiness when he tells you your other stats.
Yes,
and you can verify that you're on pace because a lot of the happiness comes from stuff in year 2.
Right.
Excuse me. I know that I'm above it, but I'm going to say 7 in my head because I'm pretty sure that I'm at like 8 or 9, but I'm going to say I've done like 6 or 7.
Now this works similarly to, I guess, did you got the idea to try this in Desert's the seed dupe?
Yeah, the seed dupe that we'll be playing with a little later basically allows you to get underflow your seed count for any bag of seeds you have one of, and you'll see that later in the run. Mostly my encouragement was that in the USA version, that main dupe we were talking about, so we're resetting the game over and over again to manipulate this Harvest Sprite event. The Harvest Sprite event will give you plus 10 happiness and plus 10 sprite affection. We need a lot of happiness to beat the game on the route we're on, or on the category we're on. So resetting the game allows us to basically spam that event over and over again.
Yeah, essentially the game's giving him the boost, but it's not checking the flag or whatever that would say he can't do it anymore. That the rock's destroyed and that the event's been done, because this doesn't repeat every year, right? Like the earthquake just happens.
One time event for sure.
Yeah.
Animals in this game is a weird one, actually. You have to plant grass before you're able to. That's a nice color.
Yeah. This is really annoying about the Game Boy games.
Yeah, you have to plant grass before you can get animals. So you have to plant 4 grass seed to get chickens and 6 grass seed to get cows.
And
So,
you don't have the plots behind the barn, right? It's like you plant it in front of the house, right?
pretty much, yeah.
Because in Game Boy 2, you have plots behind.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah.
the map on this one, including the placement of like stumps and grass, is pretty much lifted from Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played a lot of Super Nintendo. I'm suspicious even the map of the town is kind of based off of that as well. You planted,
Well, in this game, you don't even run around the town, right? You go there and it has it's not.
Yeah.
You just select the area, the shop you want to go to.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no real way to interact with any characters or anything like that. I'm going to give this 3 more, and I think I'm way over, but that's exactly where I want to be. So that's 2 more after this. The save games in this game are kind of weird. I never figured that. I know Desert Penguin played with it a little bit. In terms of the when it saves, do you know offhand?
It's some amount of frames after a reset or before a reset. So I think if you soft reset with AB start and select, it's instant. But if you reset the GameCube using X, B, and start, I think it's like a certain amount of frames after that.
Yeah, I'm just using the reset button. But
wait, you can just soft reset, can't you?
Presumably.
Okay.
To be honest, I've done it this way since I figured it out, and I'm never going to change it right now.
No, that's all good.
Yeah, so I think that I'm well above the 7 or 8 that I need, so I'm just going to play it from here. From here, we start on the next big part of the... Oh, still got the hammer. Oh, you know what? I got to do it one more time, actually. Or I can do it one more time, because I got to go down here anyway. And I want to get him under the rock. Thank you so much for all the good luck, and hello to all the people coming through. Okay. Yeah, and I wouldn't be able to stream it with a Game Boy. Gotta have this GameCube in order to stream it. Exact same event as the Super Nintendo, where you tell the Harvest Goddess that it's not your axe, and she gives you a golden axe in exchange for being honest. This game came out maybe less than a year after Super Nintendo, so it's really kind of a port of it more than anything. So one of the
I was just giving him mushrooms, because that mushroom right there is what you would normally do, right?
Right. Well, the way sprite affection works is that the sprite affection for you will degrade by 3 every day, and the mushroom will give you +6, and talking to him gives you +1. So if you talk to him, you get -2 every day. If you give him a mushroom every day, you get +3, and if you talk and give him a mushroom, you get +4.
Oh.
So yeah, that took me a little bit of time to figure out. I was like subtracting by whatever, looking for decreased values. Also, it doesn't go through until you go to bed that night. So, or until you leave the screen. I'm not sure which one it was. And then the power berry comes at 10. He will take your sickle at 30, and he will take your hoe at 50 to upgrade them. And that gets into another regional difference. With the USA version, it takes only 1 day of in-game time to upgrade the hoe and sickle. In the Japanese, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, the Game Boy Color, it takes 12 hours of in-real-life time. Is that right for Color?
A Penguin had to tell you.
I think Color is 24, but I don't remember if it's English GB.
It's normally 12 hours for the sickle and 24 hours for the hoe. Is what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, that would be one of the big skips we could find right now, is if we could find a way to manipulate the Game Boy clock in order to get the Super Hoe and Super Sickle on Japanese. Because
the reason, did you explain why you need the hoe?
Basically one of the ending requirements is to have 1,600 tilled plots on your farm. And so
1600. 16.
Not, and with the regular hoe, you get 1 per swing at -2 stamina. With the super hoe, you get 6 for 3 stamina. 6
okay,
plus.
that's pretty good. Well,
Well, basically with clear, and also you can use the super sickle to clear the 8 squares around you for 3 stamina of weeds, and that. I did about 3 or 4 runs when I was trying to justify running this on USA to not have to deal with the happiness. Harkness is a super hoe. And it came out to about 35 minutes of field clearing on USA with those. And it takes about an hour and 5 minutes, including tilling, to get it in Japanese. So it's about a 35 minute difference. So if we could get the super hoe and super hoe or super sickle to work in US or in Japanese, it'd be a big time, say about half an hour.
Well.
So right now we should have already got Harkness where we wanted to be. Harkness is remembering that's a family-friendly chat, and we are going to, after we clear these weeds, we are going to start working on the stumps and start working on the little rocks. Once those are cleared out, we have enough room that we can till every open plot and get to 1,622. You don't even have to till on the land expansion.
Oh,
excuse me.
Now, I would point out also one annoying thing about the Game Boy games that you'll notice is your tools are your empty hands count as a tool, so your pickup button and your tool button are the same button. So if he switches to a tool like hammer or hoe or something, then he can't pick up the weeds. He can destroy them with a sickle, but he can't pick up the weeds. So and because cycling between tools is very slow. I mean, I suppose you could use the hammer here to break some of these rocks. You know?
Yeah, I avoid it. I have it kind of even routed in to try to
what
avoid.
Do you do?
I just do the weeds all at once, and then I go through with the hammer and do it again.
Okay.
Faster than switching.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Faster than switching. Yeah.
And even taking the weeds up by hand is faster than using the sickle.
Okay.
Just because you don't lose stamina, so you don't have to go to bed at any point. You can just reset the day.
And the stamina, the tiredness, sort of as you're using up your.
You don't get those animations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for the weeds. So now, got a few more over here. Yeah, the controls are very, very hard on this game, especially with using the analog stick on the GameCube controller. That should be it. So one thing that is kind of interesting about this run versus a lot of other Harvest Moon runs is that it requires a lot of execution in a weird way. Like, there's so few actual things you do to get where you need to be. It's basically tilling the field and then using the egg glitch we're going to use here in a little bit. And without so where you could really improve on the time is by running in between field tilling.
Yeah, this is what I've noticed too. Yeah.
Right. So routing
it's
out
actually pretty hard to optimize.
It's very difficult because the running has a strange momentum. You can get animations that will interrupt your normal pace of running pretty often between eating it right there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tricky to. I think there's a lot of room for a really good player to actually get a decent time on the field tilling.
Another really annoying thing is that for some reason the aim in the GB game it can be off. Sometimes you'll be aiming right for a square and you swing the sickle and it doesn't chop down the grass, or
you
go for the hoe and it's not that square or something like that.
you're not moving on the tile despite it being a tile-heavy game. And missing a weed or two is okay. Basically, when I clear this out, I will have cleared out all the stumps and little rocks. I'll leave those big rocks. And if I till every square, I will have 1,622. So I could find 22 squares not to till. And that includes missing a weed here or there.
Interesting. And you're saying that's without the expansion?
Yes.
Gotcha. Because he will get an expansion after the first year. So
yeah.
Ground to potentially till them.
So, okay, now we're too tired. We got to go to sleep, and we'll finish up rocks tomorrow, and then do the stumps and begin tilling. So, one interesting thing about that land expansion, we keep talking about these requirements. I should list them. To get the credits at the end of the game, you need to have 4 chickens, 4 cows, 1,600 land tilled, 5,000 items shipped, 65,536 money, 250 happiness, and have eaten 6 power berries. You can actually achieve all of those requirements in the first year, with the exception of eating a 6 power berry. There's 5 power berries in the first year, 4 on the field and 1 from the harvest sprite. There's 2 in the land expansion and then 3 in the secret pickaxe room.
Yeah.
One interesting thing I found about power berries is that a power berry will give you plus 10 stamina. Like you'll start at 100 and you'll move up to 110 with each one, 110, 120. Only the field power berries give you that stamina bonus. Your max stamina is 160.
Wait, what? Are you serious?
Yeah.
So the other ones don't give you anything, or they just give you fatigue?
They give you plus 10 stamina. Like if you're at 80, you'll go to 90. But it's not like a permanent bonus.
It's just when you eat it.
It's just when you eat it. But the hot spring that's down in the cave, there's a hot spring, and when you jump in the hot spring, it gives you plus 20 stamina. So you can jump in there, jump out 5 times, get back to 100.
Yeah.
Every power berry you have gives you plus 1 for that. If you have eaten 3 power berries, you get plus 23 stamina. And the cave power berries count toward that. So I don't know if they were just trying to cap stamina. They thought 200 would just be too much and let you do too much in a day. Or if it was just an oversight. Or if it even could be different in the different versions, because I've seen so many different differences.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. Seems like there's quite a few. I mean, we're both going to need to check Game Boy.
Oh, yeah, I would check. I would check your power berries before you eat them. You know, if you're buying them on the street, you don't know what's in those.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you don't want them to be adulterated.
Yeah. Carthonis, the field should be cleared as much as possible. The field in total, I don't even know how many squares it has. It probably has in the range of 1,700. You need 1,600 total. So this is not very well optimized. This is actually the first run that will ever be up on speedrun.com. God willing, we have credits here in a few hours. So this route is very unoptimized and can be optimized a lot better. And it wouldn't shock me if there's a way to avoid doing a lot of what I'm doing right now to still get to 1,600 tilled. But in the pretty basic route I've put together, the easiest way to do it is to just do it all in the first one. And one of the reasons for that is when Grandpa comes back at the end of year 1 to give you your stats, he'll tell you how many tiles you've tilled. And that way, you know, you can be like, okay, 1,600. Thanks for the 100 bits for this channel. And yeah, I think world record is in the bag today. I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, we got this.
I had a pretty bad experience a few weeks ago. I was all jazzed up. I had done all my testing. You could read the Harvest Moon GB Discord. I was like so sure of myself and got in here and I was playing on Japanese and I'd done all my testing on USA and I didn't trigger the credits and I was like, oh, this is the nightmare. But happily, I've done it twice now, not on like a speed time, just kind of lazily doing it. So this is the first real. Yeah.
Nice.
Yours is another first time ever, right?
No, I actually did finish a run the other day.
Well, more in the terms of this is a new route being kind of shown off.
Yeah, yes, no, it is, yeah. In fact, all 3, well, I'm not sure if Desert has done 100% before. Have you done that before, Desert?
There's nothing on speedrun.
Nothing? Okay. Yeah. So this block, this will be GB1, GBC2, GBC3. And yeah, there's nothing on any of the leaderboards for any of this, but it's more just to. There's been some work done between the three of us over the last, I don't know, it's actually almost a couple of years now, because I was looking at this at least 2 years ago now. But hopefully encourage other people to start playing it or whatever.
I feel like we have been talking about this for a year or so.
At least,
yeah, trying to get all these Game Boy games put together to show them off. I kind of look at the release dates of the different Harvest Moon games, and I can kind of understand why this one and the other two fell by the wayside. They were pretty quickly put together off of the Super Nintendo.
And probably released somewhere around 64. I mean, maybe not a lot of overlap between handheld and console players, but I don't know.
Well, that's part of why I think Game Boy Color wasn't even released in Japanese for GBC1, because they were so close to having GBC2 at that point.
Right.
I think it was December of 2000 or of 1998, and Japan got GBC2 summer of 1999.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then I think 64 came out like December 99 in Japan.
Yeah, I don't know all the dates, but yeah, and this game was definitely played. There's information on it online, and that was a lot of the consternation we had about the requirements and about the actual end of the game. Was there's a lot of varied information, and I think that comes from there being three main versions of the game. That makes it
harder.
The one thing that I put together probably last summer, and I've never found it anywhere else online, was kind of the exact requirements for each item at the end of each year, and that kind of helped unlock a lot of the game in terms of what they were really looking for. Basically, when we first started routing, the idea was you finished every year and got every tool from Grandpa, and then Max, once you did that, he would give you the credits. And
it was what I thought you had to do, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was after I did that ill-fated run where it fell apart, that I was talking to Desert Penguin on Discord, and I was like, trying to figure out what I hadn't met, and I did the happiness, and I was like, okay, I found it. I was like, oh, but this was year 4. I just triggered credits by upping my happiness to 255 in year 4. And at that point, it was like, oh, so maybe at any point you've met the end requirements. You're now going to, and I tested it out immediately and got credits on year 2. And that again is like, you can max out every requirement in year 1. You just need to wait for year 2 to get the land expansion to get one of those other power berries.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
This is a sprinkler or a watering can event. She tells you that she'll sell you a sprinkler if you bring your water can in. It happens after you till a certain amount of soil on your farm. Doesn't really help us because it's
most broken Harvest Moon item ever, by the way. People don't know about this. This is Game Boy. I believe this is Game Boy only. I've never seen it in any other. I think it's just the 3 Game Boy games. And sprinkler automatically waters very quickly 3x3 square all around you. And you don't have to refill it either. That's it. That's what makes it broken.
The year 4 gift from Grandpa in this one, I've never, because I've never actually done a run of this game where you don't just do the dupe. Makes it rain the next day. Is that what it does?
Yeah, umbrella. Yeah. So that's So the 3 items I think are pickaxe. I'm not sure. I assume you can.
That's a gimmick.
It's kind of a gimmick. I mean, you might as well use the sprinkler, but I'm not sure. But because the thing is in this game too, normally I feel like in most other Harvest Moon games, if you get bad weather on a day, it's kind of your cue to do social sort of activities instead, because you get a higher chance to get sick, you take more, or you lose more stamina for doing things, and you may build fatigue.
Yeah, no stamina decrease. You still just -2 for a tool swing.
In the rain, really?
Yeah, I looked that up earlier today.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay, so then that means that actually the umbrella is good then, because that means you're not necessarily losing anything by making it rain. Otherwise, the sprinkler would just be better.
Absolutely. You do it quickly.
But yeah, so the special items are pickaxe, right?
First starts with fishing rod, actually.
Fishing rod, pickaxe,
land expansion after end of year 1. So end of year 1 land expansion, and then into the items.
Right, exactly, yeah. And then second year is fishing pole, then pickaxe, and then umbrella. And pickaxe is only used for that one route where you get the last.
Right.
Right.
Three power berries are all you can get out of it.
That's right.
And they don't even up your stamina.
Yeah. That's very strange.
Yeah, it threw me off because I was noticing my stamina was always kind of at a weird place.
Yeah.
When I was doing my testing. Oh, you know what? Speaking of power berries, the reason I'm getting tired so quickly is I totally forgot to get my power berries.
Oh yeah, get those power berries. I didn't notice either. I thought I might have looked away, but yeah, they're in the same spot every time in this game, kind of. And you just have to you just click one tile with the. There you go. Yeah, there's one.
Yeah, I've played around with it a little bit to see if I can dupe the power berry. I need to play around with it more. Oh, you know what? This last fourth one, because I cleared the stumps, I don't know where it is. It's like around here somewhere.
I have it in my notes. Let me look it up.
No, because I'm going to come across it naturally. Just like doing my tilling. I'll just start tilling down here now.
Yeah, you will come across it.
Yeah. So this is actually the next big bulk of the run is just, okay, it's to the right of here actually. Yeah, if you can see those 2 rocks, I actually have a map. It's set to the left of here.
Did you find it?
No, but I will. I have a map that has all the power berry locations. There it is.
Oh, okay,
I found it. Yeah. The map's not that big.
Yeah.
So yeah, the power berries actually restore 10 stamina and give plus 10 permanent stamina. So not a bad thing to find after you've already exerted a little bit.
Yeah.
So originally you have 100 stamina, which allows you to do 50 tiles. The power berries put you up to 70 a day. Then also you eat throughout the day if you have food or not. So that allows you to do a little extra. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, a lot of the optimization of the run could be in this, because you can run while you till. It's just very hard not to leave spaces, especially when you get animations like that. That's
so ideally you would just run in a straight line, hold B, and then just mash A, or I guess you would time your A press.
You can't mash it, or they'll till on the same square. Yeah.
So it's quite difficult because the aim is not very.
Yeah. But really all we need to do is get up to 1600 tilled, and then we go into the second big part of the run, and once we're done with that, we pretty much get through to the end. Because we found that way to get the credits early on, or earlier than waiting through 5 years of grandpa tools.
Right.
You can get it in year 2. And the other dupe we do requires some finesse in terms of how you do it, so it's helpful to have an extra year anyway to make sure you're on the right track with it. So the run you're doing, G. Heinz, that's almost all photos, you said?
Yeah, that's what I'm calling it, yeah.
Oh, your audio's a little distorted. Try that again.
I said that's what I'm calling it.
Okay, and is that pretty similar to this, or is it have the same kind of like till your whole land?
It's similar. No, there's really no till requirement at all. It seems like what they did was with the Game Boy Color games, they made it a little bit more insane to like complete the game, like get everything. So, for as far as we know, with from what Penguin has told me, or I guess I don't know how thoroughly he's tested this, but it seems at least pretty far out of our reach to get the best ending, because the ship requirement is like.
I'm worried G. Heinz audio might be dropping off. Desert, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. How about yours? How much tilling does your run require?
So in GBC3, you just have to till, I believe it's 6 3x3 plots in each animal barn.
Mm,
So you can plant grass there because part of the requirements is 3 of each animal for
okay,
the best ending.
that's not too bad. Yes, this is pretty much the only Harvest Moon I could think of that like really looks for you to just have tilled the land. I mean, you would know better than me, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think SNES and 64 have grass planting requirements.
Mm-hmm.
So for something like All Photos, or for the party photo in 64, you have to have 384 grass planted. And then in SNES, I think you just need 50% of your field to have grass.
Mm,
But I think
okay.
those are the only ones that require tilling that much or having that much grass planted.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think Game Boy just didn't put a lot of thought into it. They were just like, well, if you've tilled 1,600 and you have 65,000 money and 5,000 items shipped, you probably did a bunch of stuff. Here's some credits. Why not? We're working on Game Boy Color. Yeah, Sam, get ready for not as much planting as one might expect based on the amount of tilling I'm doing. Yeah, that's the other thing. You know, you mentioned or what you should be trying to do, but they never really cracked the game in terms of like what you needed to get in order to meet each achievement and get the credits at the end and the differences of the versions.
Yeah, can you hear me?
G Hines, yeah, your back still kind of got a bit of a robot voice. I don't know if you got other stuff like
I don't
using
know
up your
what's
upload.
No, I don't think so.
Turn off them BitTorrents. You kids all love.
And shared around the internet for like 10 years after that, and kind of evolved into the completely wrong requirements you need.
Yeah, and I think that's also based off of version differences. And, you know, I think early on, when people were looking at speed routing this, they weren't even sure if Ranch Master was a thing. You would know more about that, Desert.
Yeah, so the Uber kind of the grandfather of modern Harvest Moon speedrunning, looked into this in January of 2017, and he did the
Decided
requirements
it
that
was
were
not
listed.
worth it.
Yeah, he decided they weren't really a thing because other people had done testing and nobody's actually had a video of it online before. And then in September of 2017, so like 6 months later, G. Hines and I both got the credits on Japanese Game Boy.
Yeah, but the credits you got, was that on Game Boy Color or Japanese cartridge?
I got it on Japanese cartridge.
So you would have not gotten the Ranch Master mark.
No, no, I don't think I did.
No, you would. Unless
people didn't even think that credits were possible. I remember someone saying to me, I can't remember who the guy is, but there's some guy on Twitch who did some challenge where he tried to beat every single Game Boy game for some. I don't know.
I know if you look at the forums on speedrun.com under Harvest Moon for Game Boy, there's a guy named Electronic Logic who's looking for information, and I actually know him from the Kaizo Mario community. And I asked him, and he said it was in relation to that guy trying to beat a Game Boy game.
Yeah, and he said, and I had heard that he gave up on it because he couldn't trigger credits. So I was at least just trying to trigger credits. Of course, I was looking for Ranch Master, but. Right.
Yeah, there was a guy who claimed to have got it year one that I never spoke to. Desert told me about that one.
Yeah, that rings a bell too, but I'm not.
But, and you know, it is possible if you use Cheat Engine and you manipulate your Power Berry value, because that is just a value that Grandpa looks at.
Yeah.
I think you can trigger credits year one using that if you want to. So that might have been what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Carthonis, yeah, I have been all over the game facts of this, and that's kind of where a lot of our misinformation and contrasting information comes from. I've never got into the message board though.
This should be the take-home message for everybody watching this marathon. Do not trust Harvest Moon game facts for any game, pretty much any game except 64. 64 was very well documented.
Absolutely.
There's been a lot of revisions and maybe some mistakes people have found over time, omissions and things like that. It's been very thoroughly tested in our community, but the other games were bad if you really wanted to know strictly what you needed to trigger certain things.
Oh, did you really, Cario? That's amazing. I'm glad to hear that. And that's something I wanted to comment on. And something G-Heinz and I have even talked about is just like, if we have cheat engine and emulator in every version of the ROM, and I'm still finding new stuff about this game. Like, God bless anybody who tried to route these games or figure these games out back in the year 2000. Like, oh my god, like we were trying, and it took us a year or two to actually get anywhere on here. And
it is really difficult.
Mm-hmm. And then with the different versions out there, it's definitely a bit of a mind boggle. Excuse me, sorry about that. So going pretty well on the field tilling. Probably about.
Like you're doing great. Yeah.
Third of the way through.
Oh, nice.
There's I want to thank all the organizers for giving me Saturday evening at prime time to display the excitement that is Harvest Moon for Game Boy. They all can't be
it's
married.
Only going to get better.
Oh yeah, right. I love this run. I believe that this is like the baby's first speed run. Anybody can do the route that I've put together. And I think it's a great way to get yourself introduced to Harvest Moon speedrunning if you want to kind of trial by fire.
No, I'd love to see more people run this. That's really why I wanted to do the Game Boy block, was just to see if more people would get into it.
Yeah, I'm just hoping to put up a time that's so laughably beatable that somebody out there, be it even just you or Desert Penguin, has to go and put a little competition into this game.
I might bust out my cartridge this summer.
Do you have a Japanese?
Yeah, I have the Japanese cart,
Yeah, that's the one you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were hypothesizing we need to find somebody who knows about the Game Boy internal clock mechanism. Because unlocking that Super Ho really is a big one. And if we could find a way to dupe that, we were hypothesizing a dead battery might help. I don't know.
I hadn't thought about that, because it would either trick it into giving it to you, or it would make it impossible
never
to
do
get
it. Right, exactly. Yeah. I lean toward.
It seems like it would be the latter. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The other one that is going to come up here in the next few days, so we kind of have to look at it, is the Harvest Moon Game Boy entry on speedrun.com might have to be split up a little bit, just with the different regional versions, and then also Game Boy Color. Because the Game Boy Color save battery, that's if the internal clock is being run or is being measured off of the save battery.
Yeah, the battery should run the RTC.
Yeah, so and maybe an emulator would be able to mess with that, and those would be filtered out anyway. Yeah. But the speedrun category for this game, just talking about it live right now, I think we kind of got to split Game Boy Color off into its own one, because there is a way to manipulate that one pretty heavily using the 3DS Virtual Console clock. Desert, is that true? What is that with the harvest sprites?
Yeah, so the 3DS version actually does read the 3DS clock, and you can change that ahead 24 hours. And
what?
Yeah, so the 3DS version could possibly just be till 1600 squares, seed glitch turnips, and then have the harvest sprites water and grow them, and it would take like an hour.
Yeah.
Dang.
But that would make up for the glitch that we'll be exploiting here in a little bit that got patched out.
Right.
But also, streaming the 3DS is pretty tenuous, I've heard.
No, 3DS capture is, yeah. I'm not even sure if you can get 3DS capture anymore.
Desert, you said there was like a way, but hardware is scarce.
Yeah, so there's a German guy, murky.net, where you can find them, and he stopped making them like a year ago now, and he's the only one that was making and selling them still. So
yeah,
who knew if he just kept in stock?
And then at that point, it would have to be emulator runs, and at that point, I don't know about messing with that internal clock anymore. Carthonis, we're kind of dancing around a glitch that we can talk about a lot later because it takes a long time to do the exploit we want to. But there's an exploit to get a shipped item count up very high, as well as money, that will be exploited here in about half an hour. That they patched out for Game Boy Color in the USA. But yeah, so that eggs, baby. That speedrun category, I think color might have to be its own thing because it's a totally different run at that point.
Well, yeah, they are certainly different. I mean, especially in this case because the requirements are different for the different versions. Yeah, they certainly would be different categories if. But it seems like you would probably just end up running the optimal category or the optimal version anyway. And then, of course, if people wanted to compete in the other ones, it really depends on what people feel like competing in. Currently, leaderboard, but
I'd put a time up on the USA version. I don't know if I would go near the Game Color unless like an exploit were found.
Yeah, if an exploit was found, yeah.
Because if you're looking at legitimately having to do 5,000 or sell 5,000 items and you can't stream it even without emulator, that's rough. So this will probably be the first run up for Japanese Harvest Moon Game Boy.
Hi, YouTube.
yeah. The world's been waiting 23 long years. It's been too long.
Oh yeah.
They deserve every Harvest Moon game deserves a speed run.
Yeah, these are cute little games, but if you had a console Harvest Moon, you'd definitely much rather play that, I think.
Right, yeah. I mean, I can't imagine outside of having no other option how you would have come across the ending requirements for this game. Like, just
they must have triggered credits.
Oh, people did.
People at Ushino Tane had to be triggering credits.
They had the right requirements for the version on some websites. Because a lot of websites would just say, till everything on your farm. Every single thing has to be tilled. Or they would say, have your money maxed out at 100,000. Like, just have max money. And it's true. You can do that, and that will meet the requirements, but those aren't exact.
I can't believe that the tilling is a requirement. That's what kind of throws me off. I would never even do that normally in casual play, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean...
Unless you're playing grass. Unless you're playing grass.
I was going to say, like,
do you have? 4?
There's not even flowers in this game to, like, make it worth it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, this was Grandma's gift, and she knew you liked Harvest Moon.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never even considered a strategy guide. I honestly feel like I would have come across it, though, in my research, if there were one.
Yeah.
Or the information out there would be better if there was one. Have you ever looked through the manual? Like the instruction manual that came with the game?
Me?
Yeah.
I bought just a single cart on eBay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's out there online somewhere. I was just wondering if you had
Yeah, that's a good point. It probably is. No, I haven't looked at it.
I'm just always curious about like what is said where about what this game.
Sometimes there's some surprisingly neat little Easter eggs in the some handheld guides like that. But
yeah, I'm just hoping we find the Japanese manual and it says, "Oh yeah, to beat the game, 4 cows, 4 chickens, 1,600 any year, just get it done."
Yeah, I mean the thing that's nice about Harvest Moon games is a lot of times the requirements for like the big one, the big event, or the best ending is usually just like they're just trying to implicitly encourage you to like participate in the game fully. So So you should be able. A lot of times, you should be able to meet the requirements just through normal casual play if you did everything pretty much in the game.
Mhm.
Which is a cool way to do it. Sometimes there's like slightly more advanced ones, like all photos in 64 is actually kind of difficult to do even casually. Because
Absolutely.
there's some very intricate requirements, but for the most part, it usually seems like they're just trying to get you to play the game. So it shouldn't be too nonsensical most of the time. But 1600 to me, that's over the top.
Well, they build to it. They build to it because in the same vein of trying to get you to, I can understand why you would have skipped out on the other two based off of this game.
GBC 3, I would think GBC 3 is actually pretty good, but
GBC 2 and 3 look like legitimate games. I've never played through them, but they look pretty fleshed out. It's like they look more on par with later Harvest Moon portables, and this looks more like the mobile game version of the Super Nintendo Harvest Moon.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So in the same vein of trying to encourage you to just play the game, I do see the requirements for the year-end tools to be kind of similar. Because let me go through this real quick here. Basically, the end of year one, to get the land expansion, it wants you to have 2 cows, 2 chickens, 800 squares tilled, 1,500 items shipped, or your house upgraded by 1. And it really is only looking for you to have completed one of those. So it's kind of like if you've played the game at all.
Oh, any one of those.
Yeah, any one of those. The first 120 games. You're going to get that land expansion. But then in year 2, it does kick it up for the fishy rut. It keeps those same requirements: 2 chicken, 2 cow, 800 tilled, 1,500 chipped, first house upgrade. But you have to match 4 out of the 5.
Right. I think I remember that.
And then year 3, it bounces all the requirements up. It uses the same requirements of chicken cow house upgrade, tilled and shipped. It just goes to 4 cows, 4 chickens, 1,600 tilled, 5,000 shipped, and the second house upgrade. And it wants you to have 4 of those 5. And for the final tool, the umbrella, you just have to have that 5th requirement. And then those requirements are still necessary for credits. It just adds on 65,536 money, which we'll get into in a bit, and having eaten 6 power berries. And then in the Japanese, you need 250 happiness. The USA, you don't need any happiness. And I don't know if that's intentional or a bug they released, and I don't know about color. So
yeah, it's weird because then what else would the happiness stat be used for?
I think my only thought is maybe they thought it was too arduous. Like if you were at the end of year 5 and you're at 205 happiness, where are you getting 50 happiness? Like if you skipped out on events or if you went to the fortune teller and got bad?
Yeah, because the events are a one-time thing, and if you risk too much at the fortune teller and got enough bad RNG, it'd be very difficult to get back.
Absolutely. What just happened there is Hurricane Bob, or at least it's what's called the USA version. Hurricane Bob comes through and you can't leave your house. That happens in most Harvest Moon games. In this one, I think it's every summer has one typhoon like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in America, you can work your entire life and have all the money in the world and die without happiness, and you're still, get the achievement. Japan, you have to be happy as well.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention pretty early on, we selected the girl, and that does have an effect. The girl gives you a little bit of a bonus starting off. It gives you a grass seed and 2 other seeds and a watering can. The watering can, the male character has to buy, I believe. Is that true? Do you have to buy it?
I don't remember, but I do remember.
I've only ever played as girl.
Yeah, I do remember the girl getting some kind of buff. I thought that. Did they both get 1,000 gold in the?
Oh, I didn't. I believe so. I think I did check that.
Okay.
Yeah, the rainy day money, which I actually need to grab.
Yeah, I forgot about that, but I think they both get that.
Yeah, so selecting the girl, you start off with 500 money and a grass seed, and that's all you need in order to get chickens. Because we use that seed underflow glitch we talked about, and we'll talk about a little more here in a minute. And that gives us infinite grass, basically. And then we have $500 to start with and $1,000 in free money in the bedside table. So that's $1,000 to buy 2 chickens at 500 each, and enough to buy chicken feed at 500.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Yeah. So the girl lets you kind of get a bonus on that grass seed, but because we till the field first, that gives you enough random money that it really doesn't benefit that much to use the. Yeah, it's just an extra trip to the flower shop. That's the rainy day money. I just went and grabbed the rainy day money. So yeah, now we are back to Tilly. Yeah, so ending requirements are pretty. They made all the sense in the world to me as soon as I figured them out. It's one of those like eureka moments of like, oh, okay, I get it. But if anybody saw me, like I was sitting at my job and I had a spreadsheet that had probably about 200 file names, and I had 200 save states, and every save state file name in like the Windows Explorer would say how, like in like a special format, how much money I had on that save state, how many I tilled, what the day, month, and year was, what my happiness was at, and I would resort the spreadsheet based off of what I needed to research at that moment. Like if I was like, I need to see if I can trigger year 3 with less than 1,600 tilled and more than 5,000 items shipped. So go to the spreadsheet, sort by tilled, pull open a save that had a high till count, and then get a high ship count. So
that's been annoying about it, is that there's all those interacting requirements, and in some cases, like you were saying, it's maybe 4 out of 5 on the list. And you're thinking, is it any one specific ones, or is it really just, take your pick?
Right, yeah. Carthonis was at my work, and he would often get me running over to his desk excited, screaming, I just got the pickaxe.
Pickaxe.
Yeah. It was a long year. But I would say I've honestly learned more about the deep dive of the game in the last month than I had in the last year combined.
Yeah, you've been posting a lot, yeah.
Yeah, if anybody is in the Harvest Moon speedrun Discord or wants to get in there, you can watch the ramblings of a madman inside the Game Boy channel.
Dude, do we have a
oh yeah, it should be Discord.
Penguin's got it.
Got it.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, night shift at our old job was definitely enough time to round out Harvest Moon for Game Boy. We had some downtime there.
Dude.
Yeah. I started on Game Boy. This is actually the first Harvest Moon game I've speedrun. I was originally going to do Save the Homeland, and
for real? Yeah. We talked about this.
Well, yeah, we were back in your stream probably before I started on Game Boy, and we would be doing the affection duping or looking at affection values together. And that's what turned me off of Harvest Moon, Save the Homeland.
Dude, Save the Homeland's so tight, though. I love that.
It's the best. I love that game. I will be speedrunning it, and I will be doing all endings.
Okay.
I guarantee it. I'm going to do a run of every ending, then try and put them together for an all endings.
You guys all heard that. It's recorded. You heard him say that.
Yeah. Now I have
to that.
Oh God! 1 year from today, right here. That's what I did last time. I was like, "Yeah, we'll do it for the marathon." And then, like 3 weeks before the marathon, I'm like, "I gotta get this done."
Yeah.
Looking at Harvest Moon, Save the Homeland, I was like, "Oh man, maybe I'll look at some other ones." And I had this like pipe dream of like maybe I could put up a time on every different Harvest Moon game, like in all the different categories. Then I started looking into it. I was like, "Oh well, that's impossible." Basically because I was like, well, there's a lot of games that don't have any runs, and then I started looking into Game Boy and kind of the history of it all. That's what started me down the path.
Yo, Zek in the house, he knows. No, for real though, it's not at the marathon this year because I don't have my console. Otherwise I would ran some one of the endings. Cannot recommend Save the Homeland enough. Super fun. Feel like most people miss that game. Honestly, it's kind of like the Game Boy title.
Popular. I think the endings turned people off. I think that people wanted Harvest Moon 64 Back to Nature.
No, it's true. But by then, I mean, they had actually made a number of Moon games already. They were, I feel like they were just experimenting a bit, and it makes sense. It missed the mark for some people, but.
Yeah, and there were some parts of it that weren't great, like not being able to continue the farm after the first year.
No, like you can't. You can. You just have to keep doing some. I think you just have to keep doing some
parts
BS
of it. Like the crops you lose. Oh, is it really? Well, that's interesting. See, I don't know that game too well.
No, what game?
Save the Homeland. For as much as I loved it and played, I don't know deep dive on it too well.
Like you can keep playing it. It's like as long as you.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because I'm saying you. Well, you don't really get much incentive. No, you don't. I mean, so you keep all your items. That's what New Game Plus is. So you keep all your items. As long as you complete an ending, you go to the next. The only thing that you lose is all the villagers go back to 0 affection. So then you start that over, and then each ending is just kind of pursuing a different, tree of cutscenes with certain villagers, and then after you get all 9 endings, you can continue to play the game, that file, indefinitely with all your same animals and whatever. I think you just have to keep completing an ending, because you can complete any ending you want, any year you want. You could do repeat endings, and
Sure.
I mean, so you could just do the easiest ending that takes almost no time investment, and then just continue to farm and do whatever you want. However, you don't really get a lot from farming in the game, and there's
Right.
there's really only 2 house expansions. There's nothing for you to spend money on. So the only real, I feel like, completionist thing is all the recipes. There are quite a few recipes, but
I think for me, it's, and you know, for a lot of people who look at speedrunning, it's just because it has endings in a harvest, it has a certain appeal just based on that.
oh, it's perfect for speedrunning. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah, I
how I
don't
think
play
it
it
gets
casually
overlooked.
either. I'm certainly not necessarily recommending people to play casually, but I feel like it would be kind of fun casually too. I mean, I played it casually before I speedran it. Well, I got it to speedrun, but then I played it casually first.
I was a Genesis or Sega kid that went into PlayStation, so I missed a bit of Harvest Moon, or it wasn't like a fundamental piece. And I came in on 64 because I did get a 64. But getting a Harvest Moon for PlayStation 2 was big for me, and that's probably the only reason I really played it, though. I wasn't a big fan of it at the time versus the traditional Harvest Moon experience.
Wait, so you had Save the Homeland as a kid?
Absolutely. In fact, I've told the
Oh,
story. I've told the story before, and it's, you know, if you want to talk about why there's so much bad Harvest Moon information out there on the internet, I am as much to blame for that as anybody.
Save the Homeland is like one of the worst.
Me included in that. At the tender age of some age, I don't. GameFAQs had. Is my timer showing up on Marathon correctly? I just switched over to an hour. It might be in my layout.
I see timer, yeah.
Time, is it like, did it go down to like 0-1?
Yeah, I don't think it
I think that might be on demo to expand that layout a little bit to show the left side of my timer.
Yeah, it's okay. He didn't reset, luckily.
Yeah, no, my timer's still going. I'm at an hour 1.
Yeah, he can fix it.
Yeah, so
eventually.
You
were saying when you were.
Yeah. I was a tender boy, and yeah, and got on GameFAQs to try and find information on Save the Homeland. Carthonis, you're an idiot. I got on GameFAQs to try and find information and noticed that there was no 100% like guide for it. It would have like a filled in circle if it was considered 100% guide, and there was a bounty on it where you would get an Amazon gift card for like $50 maybe, or $25 if you wrote 100% GameFAQ for Save the Homeland.
Wow.
And when like you clicked on it, the details were like you just have to be able to get all the endings based off of what you have in your guide. And that's why I think there are so many guides that are just like a day-by-day recap of what they did each day, and they got an ending, because they don't talk about you have to raise the affection of potpourri to X. They just say, I fished and then I gave her a flower, and then 30 days later I got that. So I wrote a Save the Homeland GameFAQs, and I spent, hours on it, and I got bored with it and ripped off somebody else's item list and got hit for copyright, and it got taken down. But I am sure that it was just as bad as all the other information out there on that game is.
What it ended up being actually is most of them just literally just copied and pasted the Ushi no Tane requirements or whatever a lot of the times, or at least portions of it. And most of that was, like you said, where she's just writing what she did, and maybe it's close, but it's not a lot of it.
I mean, it'll get it. Oftentimes it will get it for you, but it's not going to be anything close to a speed route compared to what you can do with that game.
Right.
Yeah,
and you end up wasting your time with a lot of other stuff. But it's a relatively fun game. I just like the vibe. The fishing system is garbage. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. It's just that it's RNG. It's actually a pretty good fishing system with like a decent amount of skill involved. But then they introduce RNG to it too. It's kind of a pain. Oh, excuse me. Oof.
Yeah, so I was looking at Save the Homeland, and then I kind of got this like idea of doing a bunch of different Harvest Moon games, and came across Game Boy, and a year later I actually finally done. Like, it took way longer than I expected, but I didn't realize kind of the history of this game trying to be routed.
There's really a lot of Harvest Moon. I mean, so this is the 4th year now, right? Which means I mean, we must have. I don't know when the Discord was really started. It's all been kind of a blur for me at this point. But I mean, at least 64 has been really active for at least that long now. And even after all that time, there's still a lot of development to be done in a lot of the games. And some of them, like this one, have only now recently been touched. So.
Yeah, I was surprised, just when I started looking at this game in early 2019, my thought was, every game out there's been speedrun. GDQ is so big and people want to play any game, and every game and every library has been run. And I was pretty shocked to see that a game, I don't want to say popular as Harvest Moon for Game Boy, but it's not a weird Japanese import that nobody ever touched.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of the GDQ fallacy. Honestly, a lot of people. I used that certainly, and of course I thought that in 2014 when I first got into speedrunning, and even now after all the time that's passed since then, there are still a lot of gaps in a lot of games.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm looking for now. Just the idea of grinding out a game like a super optimized route, trying to just based on execution take time down. I don't think I'm good enough at video games to do that, and I don't think I have the patience to do that. So I am very interested in the mechanics of games and routing games. I find that very interesting. But
that's one of the best parts about Harvest Moon speedrunning.
Absolutely.
There's not a lot of high tier execution for many of them. So
except for in Harvest Moon for Game Boy with field running. Come on, baby.
Except for that.
Here we go. It's harder than it looks.
You want to eke out those frames, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that's yeah. I mean, you look at the most completionist categories in HM speedrunning, it's mostly like, all photos is obviously kind of the holy grail, and that one has gotten really competitive, but it's still not perfect. I'm pretty sure Desert said he would go for sub 6. Is that what the next benchmark is?
Yeah, so we're thinking like best run would be a 530 or a 540.
Okay.
But there's so many RNG points, you can easily lose 20 minutes to one piece of RNG, and there's like 6 or 7 of those.
Yeah.
So you can have a perfect run right up to the end, and literally the last point of RNG can lose you an hour. And that's
but a lot of it's a lot of game knowledge, though, right? I mean, playing through each run. I wish I knew more about it, but so it's certainly less just intense execution.
Yeah, I'd like to get into Harvest Moon 64 just because I love that game. And that, even though I don't want to grind out optimized routes, that's one I think I would just have fun putting runs in on.
64 is just fun to play.
Really and the music. I think the music from that one is the peak of the soundtracks.
Oh.
So we're actually pretty close to being done with the field. I would say we have about 5 more minutes or so.
Okay.
Every in-game hour is 15 seconds, and doesn't really matter at this point just because we're using up all the stamina anyway. But the field being 1622 and being able to, with good execution, hit 70 tills a day puts it at, what would that be, about 25 some odd days, 23, 24. Yeah, Carthonis, the problem with that is, unless you can put that RNG early in the run with these Harvest Moon games, if you're hitting that RNG 4 hours in, that's a deal breaker for a lot of people. That's why I think that's the wall of entry. It's the length of the runs for a lot of these games, which is why I think marriage works for a lot of people. You can get most games are going to be under 2 hours at that point.
Yeah. So 64 is. I have a soft spot for BTN in my heart. It's a fun game, but 64 is like so much better than it. And I don't want to talk. I think objectively, I think Back to Nature is kind of better. Just like I think just in terms of it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for content, I think it has a bit more content, and by that I mean you can wrap gifts, like little stuff like that. And for some people, that makes a big difference. And Mineral Town's a little bit more. The 64 village.
It's pretty basic when you really pull it back.
Nondescript, very.
Yeah, Back to Nature has a little bit more character. It has a little bit more just like gimmicky stuff that makes it breaks the monotony almost.
I actually don't like the one thing that I don't like about Back to Nature is how you can only go in the 4. If it wasn't like that, if it was at least like 64 in the movement, then I would be able to make more of a direct comparison. I feel like.
Yeah, I would say that I enjoyed the engine. I enjoyed 64 more than Back to Nature. But if objectively, if you're looking at like on paper what the game has, I think Back to Nature just has a little bit more for a casual player. No, we have a little bit more.
All right, Demo, you're gonna have to fight this man to the death, I guess.
Making enemies already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the Back to Nature speedrun is pretty tough. I know Desert, weren't you messing with that for a while?
Oh yeah, so there's a new glitch that was found like
really?
a year and a half ago, and it's probably the hardest glitch in any run because you have to wait until 6 a.m. and then press triangle on the exact time it turns.
There's no time on the HUD on that, right?
No, there's time on the HUD, but it runs at
okay.
60 FPS, and there's no saving anywhere, so you have to wait 12 minutes each time.
It's a 1-frame trick.
Yeah, so if
and there's no queue.
12 minutes.
Yeah.
And then with pausing, you can't even mash pausing. You have to time it because you can pause a frame early, and time will not progress at all. So you have to like wait a frame after the pause. You can pause again, and then pause to progress a frame of time. So it's really weird.
So you can't like buffer it out of a pause.
No, you're just kind of stuck trying to time it.
Yeah, I seem to remember watching you do some runs and just getting killed.
They ended like just in the middle of doing that over and over.
Wait,
again.
no, but what do you use that to do again? That's like a dupe glitch, right?
Yeah, you can ship any item an infinite amount of times because you keep your menu open and gain control. Like you keep control of your character and keep the menu open. So you have to put an item into your hand and then take it out after you throw it, but before the item actually gets taken out of your inventory.
Interesting.
Oof. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that keeps me off a lot of those routes. Now, this kind of thing, I think, like I said, this is kind of very easy speed run. I don't think there's anybody out there who couldn't go out there and till every field or every piece of field.
Yeah, this is at least straightforward.
Oh, if nothing else. Well, we're almost done with this, and here soon you'll be begging for field tilling.
Yeah, we're about to go. Basically do this again, except we won't even be moving.
Yeah.
Now, the one interesting thing about this is, if I remember, you couldn't even trick the game into thinking that you had tilled all the tiles, because even if you change the number of tiles you tilled, which I did find the address, it doesn't work because it's like your grandpa doesn't. It's like he counts all the tilled tiles separately. I don't know exactly how it works, but
I'm not sure either. But you are correct, and I don't know if that might be because if I till 10 fields and then I take a stump and I put it over one of them, I don't know if that counter would go down. And so it might be looking for a live. And I feel like it does, but I don't know off the top of my head.
That's a good question, yeah.
And yeah, Carthonis, the tilling is done when I run over the whole field one more time and don't see any more empty spots, which I think will be after today.
Yeah.
Even if I were to finish and just have that spot up by that rock after today, I'd probably leave it because I'm probably within that 1600 to 1622 area.
See, that's the thing, is you would never think and you would never purposely till all of these tiles unless you're playing grass, but
Right, unless you are 9 years old and it's 1997 and you don't have any other Game Boy games except for the Batman game you can't beat. So
Yeah.
There you go again.
Yeah.
To be honest, I do it whenever. I do this one in the summer because I want to do the Harvest Sprite first. I want to make sure that I get through those early in the run. If people weren't here, we did an event with the Harvest Sprite where we saved his life over and over again by resetting the game to dupe our happiness. I want to make sure I get that done before I do anything else. And dates in this game really don't matter. There's no affection events we're doing anything for. So we can do whatever we want, whenever we want.
See, and we would have to if you didn't do that. The happiness abuse on the sprite, yeah. Because before, when I was first routing this, I took that into account. There's a couple other things that can add to your happiness just randomly. You'll see sometimes when he walks out of his house, there's a bird in front of him.
Right.
It's slow. It takes a couple seconds for it to go away, but that's +1 happiness. And then also, if you stand still outside in your field and get your idle animation, then there's some small chance for an animal to run past you, and that's also +1. So there's ways to kind of farm. If you were really stuck and like almost soft locked out of happiness, you could abuse that. But
so what I just did there, that was what we talked about earlier, the seed underflow glitch. And Desert, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but my understanding is basically when you have one seed in your inventory, you throw it up in the air like that, and before the item is removed as a tool from your inventory, the counter goes down. So I'm at 1 seed, I throw it in the air, it goes to 0 seeds, but I still have the tool, so when I restart, I throw my 0 seed into the air, and it goes down to 255. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think that's how it is.
Yeah, so basically, if you have one of any seed in this game, and this is the map, one of the only times you get to see it, and this is how they do stores. We're going to buy 2 chickens. We're going to buy some chicken feed. So yeah, any seed can be unlimited as long as you can get down to having just 1 seed of it. And by selecting the girl, we get 1 grass seed to start with, and just go from there. So we are about to enter the barn, and the barn is where the action happens. We're going to take this, and we're going to feed the chickens. And then we need to go to sleep for a night so that they both lay an egg. At the same time, we're also going to grab the watering can, because anytime you're dealing with eggs, you need a lot of water. Okay, here we go. And honestly, I've been looking forward to this because it's a bit of a break for me. I get a little bit of downtime. Press the button a couple times. All right, go to sleep. So I have no idea how this works. I don't know if it could have even been an intentional thing they put in. I can't imagine why they would have.
I have no idea. It seems like I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to feed the chickens just in case. Doesn't really matter. And we take the watering can, and this only works on the Japanese, which doesn't work on color. We use the watering can on right there, and only that egg, only from that position, and it glitches. And after it glitches, we can sell an infinite amount of eggs for 70 each. So, I am starting this at 1 hour and 17 minutes. Split. We're looking at 43 minutes. So when that says 2 hours, we will be done doing exactly what you're seeing. Now let's talk a little bit about those requirements again. The requirement that we're working on right now are the ship count and the money count. To get credits, you need 5,000 items shipped. You also need 65,536 money. When you ship over 459 eggs, the next day your money will be at 0. So what we're going to do with this first one is we're going to try to ship about 3,500 eggs. Then the next time we do the egg dupe, we're going to do it for 4 days. And each day we're going to try to get about 375 sold. That'll allow us to get about 105,000 money, or overflow our money at 99,999. And yes, we egg time. Get counting.
Sorry, what?
If anybody could keep counting this for me and tell me when I hit 3,500, that would actually be real cool.
Yeah. I was going to say, you're doing it this way because you figured out on average how long ship, however much, and then you just do it by time instead of counting, because counting would just be ridiculous. But when I was first testing on console, I was having to count. It's like just ridiculous.
Yeah, you can use Cheat Engine to watch your total ship count if you're on an emulator. But yeah, I calculated out to be about 1.4 per second, and there's some fail safes built into it. Like, we're going to do this 43 minutes or whatever. and that will give us hopefully about 3,500 to 3,600. But when we go talk to Grandpa, he's going to tell us how many items we shipped this year, so we'll know. I actually have a spreadsheet here, and anybody who knows me knows my love of Excel. The spreadsheet has 4 rows, and each row I input a cell. The cell that I start with is I put in my year 1 ship total, and it tells me at that point, it calculates how many more eggs I need to sell, and it divides out that time by 4. Like if I sell 3,500, it'll say I need to do 4 rounds of 4 minutes and 28 seconds at 1.4 eggs per second to hit 375 to hit 1,500. So at the end of year 1, I'll update that with my year 1 total. And then the other 3 cells, each day that I do one of those 4.5 minutes, the next day I can put my money count, divides my money count by 70, which tells you how many eggs I duped, subtracts that out of the total that I still need, and then recalculates for 3, 2, or 1 day how long I need to dupe. And that's the nerdiest thing I may have ever done in my entire life. Is that
Work
spreadsheet?
smarter, not harder.
Has to be done.
Yeah, so you can tell when he's doing it perfectly because the box does a little kind of bounce when you put an item into it, but when it stays kind of expanded like that, it means he's doing it. At least I'm pretty sure that's as fast as possible. I don't think it's a pretty perfect thing.
No, I mean, it's definitely, it would be ideal not to mash. Like, there's definitely a frame when you pick up and when you can toss, but nothing like that would be within my skill set.
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous to keep it up for 43 minutes anyway.
The best I came up with was mash the A button for an hour.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do. Okay, what are we gonna...
I was worried about that. I need to stop talking during the field harvesting because some challenges to come.
Yeah, this is worse than mine. Mine's at least gonna be like a shorter version of this, but yeah.
I mean, that's the truth, though. Like, I do thank the marathon organizers for letting me show this run off. It's a brand new run. It's a brand new route for a 23-year-old game. I think it's kind of big in the history of Harvestman speedrunning, and I don't think it should ever be at a marathon ever again.
No,
until we find a way. Until we find a way around this egg dupe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying there aren't tedious parts of other runs, but at least other runs have stuff going on.
Yeah,
like,
this is neat in principle.
Field. Yeah.
In principle, this is pretty cool. But I mean, at the same time, there's only so many Harvest Moon games. This is the 4th marathon. We've shown quite a variety over the last 3 years. This year, I feel like we had a pretty good. I have to look at the.
A lot of friends of Mineral Town, but that game, as we know, new stuff every day. I've never played it. It's not
I mean, and the remake runs were really nice. I personally had not seen a lot of that yet, and I wanted to check it out. So I'm glad that he got to do those couple marriage runs. And it looks like he's doing another one in a few hours or later today.
Yeah, I think they're pretty great. Yes, the chickens are definitely my only sense of support in this world.
No Rune Factory runs. That's interesting. Maybe we get into. Maybe that's what we do. We get into some Rune Factory in the next couple of years. I don't know. I've never really played Rune Factory, but I'm sure some of us have.
I think we got to get that Chinese bootleg going. You see that one?
That's right. Yeah.
That's my next goal.
Yeah, the
Chinese bootleg Harvest Moon Super Nintendo.
Yeah. No, I mean, we have actually. That's funny that you mentioned that, though. If anybody's into Rune Factory, I mean, we do have a channel on the Discord for Rune Factory DS. And keeping in mind, too, that if you're interested in Harvest Moon or Story of Seasons or even Rune Factory game that doesn't have a channel and you want to start discussion about it, then you can always request that we add it. If there's enough interest, then it makes sense to add it. And I mean, we have a lot of channels here that haven't been active in a while. Innocent Life, Hero of Leaf Valley. That's one that I really wanted to get into. Actually, Ember. Yeah, now I'm looking at this again. Ember did a Goddess Dress run of Hero of Leaf Valley. Hero of Leaf Valley. Ooh, That's if you didn't really like Save the Homeland that much, play Hero of Leaf Valley. Basically the same thing, but they added marriage and a lot of other Harvest Moony things.
Desert, don't you run Rune Factory sometimes?
Yeah, I ran Rune Factory 1 like a couple times 3 years ago, and then a year ago when we found all the new glitches. But I want to get into like Rune Factory 2 because that's an actual 4 or 5 hour legit run.
Mm-hmm. Are you saying this is not a legit run?
No, this is really... But like compared to other Rune Factory games, it's really tedious gifting people every day for like an hour.
Can you tell me more about Tedium? while I do the egg dude?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No. Well, I thought Rune Factory had like more combat in it though.
Yeah, Rune Factory is more like... I think there are a few marriage categories, but it's more about doing the combat, and it's more of an RPG. Non-turn-based JRPG.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we always get an influx, at least of a few people here and there every year. So, if people want to, I don't know, we've had a decent amount of activity. I've actually noticed, at least in the past few, quite a lot of activity on the Discord.
You cut out there. Did you say the last few days?
The last few days, have a lot of activity on the Discord.
Absolutely, yeah. I've seen more there than... I feel like I'm the only one posting sometimes, and it's just me talking to myself about...
No, that's okay. That's what I was doing for a long time, too. And part of it is just putting it there so that you remember that it's there, and if anybody needs it, they can find it. Because there's not a lot of discussion going on in a lot of these, so it won't really get lost. 64 is one where there's a lot of conversation, so if you need something to be saved, you either make a paste or you pin it. But... these other ones, I mean, there's nobody else posting in the Game Boy chat, so this is just,
Yeah, I do intend on putting my notes and my route and my maps up, and maybe my spreadsheet as well, just so if other people want to utilize them.
No, yeah, put it on Pastebin or put it on speedrun.com, and then...
Oh, yeah, I'll probably do both.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all this knowledge should not be in the hands of one man. I mean, if I get into a car accident tomorrow...
No, I know, yeah, and then we'd all be lost, yeah.
We're back to game facts.
That's the feeling that I actually got about Rune Factory 2. I'm not sure if I played the first one or the second one, whatever, but it did seem like they just kind of shoehorned in the combat. Maybe the later ones were better. I don't know. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I never played one.
I think I played the one for the DS. Oh, actually, they're all for the DS, aren't they?
1 through 3 are DS, 4 is 3DS, and then Oceans and Frontier are on the Wii, I think.
Oh, no way.
It's on PS3 too. It's like PS3 and Wii.
Dude.
Oh, excuse me.
Alright, we're definitely getting there. Been 10 minutes. No, been 15 minutes. No, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
10 minutes. It's happening. One day at a time. Or one egg at a time, but
I'm checking out 4.
yeah, so part of this, the part we're doing right now is to ship those 3,500 eggs so that next year when we start off, we do the 4 days of 350 to try and get the money up to 100,000 without overflowing the money to where it resets to 0 when you ship over 460 a day. The money requirement is something I just kind of had, it says 65,536 money. And I found that to be a bit of a weird number, and I'm sure anybody who knows, programming might have already come up with it. That is the maximum value of a 2-byte value. So when your money hits 65,536, there's another memory value that switches over from a 0 to a 1 that basically says you have more than 65,300 or 65,536. And if you have, let's say, 500 money at that point, it will add that to the 65536 if that other memory value is a 1. So all Grandpa's really looking to do with that requirement of 65536 is see that other value is set to a 1. And if we could find a way to manipulate that, we could get the egg dupe down to just being the 5,000 straight. But I played around, I didn't find anything.
It looks like there is one marriage run of Sunshine Islands. I don't know anything about the game. Didn't you say All Sunstones is the other category on here? Would that be really long desert?
Yeah, I think that's going to be like 30 or 40 hours, but I also thought marriage would be like 12 hours, and there's actually an RNG manipulation that's extended for like the entire run now, so definitely give it a watch.
In this one, the marriage run here?
Yeah, in the marriage run.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know too much about it, but I think like swinging tools and different stuff increases the RNG seed, so he has like exactly what he does for the entire run.
No way.
Down to tilling certain tiles in the mine for different stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never... oh, there's a raid.
Yo, thank you for the raid there,
Thank you.
Robot.
That's very cool. Gearless Robot, welcome. We're running Harvest Moon for Game Boy on the Harvest Moon Valentine's Day Marathon weekend. This is the Game Boy block, actually. After this game, we'll be doing Game Boy Color 2 and then Game Boy Color 3 with G. Hines and Desert Penguin, who are commentary with me. So stick around for those if you are into Harvest Moon Retro.
You know, the one nice thing to say about this block is that it really builds up, I think, to the best Game Boy game. I think Game Boy Color 3 is pretty good. Do you like it, Desert? I mean, is it a pretty neat game in general?
Yeah, it's definitely one of my probably top 10 favorite Harvest Moon games, even. Like, it actually reminds me a lot of 64.
64 was probably already out.
Yeah, probably.
I think GBC3 was like 2001 or something.
Yeah,
I
wouldn't be surprised if it emulates 64 more than Super Nintendo. Like, GB1 is heavily based off of Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
That one's probably more based off of what they were doing by 64.
And there's a lot of quality of life changes in GBC3. A lot more content. I don't know what all is involved in the 100%.
So it's mainly getting all power berries and a few other things. So getting all power berries actually covers a lot of it, because fishing, for example, you have to catch all the fish in the game for one of the berries, and then for another berry you have to befriend 2 people and get a boat and a fishing rod, and then that lets you go to kind of an island place and get it from a mermaid. And then there's a few events like volcano erupts, and that lets you get another power berry and a piece of ice, and that gets you a fridge. So kind of the power berries extend to most of the run. Like, most of the run is going for the power berries.
Interesting.
And then just getting married and using the item dupe to buy stuff.
I'm hoping we can figure out how a way to do the good ending on GBC2 more easily eventually. But are you pretty sure it's 10,000 shipped?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 10.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
That's so dumb.
It's like 70 or 80 happiness too. And the only way I found to increase happiness is having a bird outside.
Are you serious?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I haven't tried animal births actually.
No.
I feel like an animal birth probably would increase it, but
that can't be.
That sounds...
Because you'd have to do it within 3 years then. That's not that
that's
unreasonable. Crazy. It would just really encourage you to go outside often. So it would actually be kind of the anti-Harvest Moon speedrun, because you'd have to actually leave your house and not sleep. Yeah, because what is that? If it's 3 years, and that's 120 days in each...
you could do it.
Yeah, 70 out of 360 is not...
But 10,000 items shipped.
Yeah, that's the real thing. I mean, and that's the funny thing about this, is that it's only 5, and it's
Right,
43 minutes, and the dupe is unique.
43 minutes. 43 minutes is only 3,500.
35. Yeah, that's right. Okay, fair enough. So maybe about an hour, right? And it's unique in that it's set up. It's like
Perfectly.
Perfectly. It's right in front of the shipping bin, and you don't even have to reposition. Actually, this is one thing we didn't mention, worth mentioning.
Oh yes.
We were talking about earlier is in the North American version, for some reason, you have to like reposition. I haven't done it in a while.
Any movement, any frame movement, because like you basically have to give it one of these numbers. You have to like move up, down, and then every time you press it down, you can get another egg.
Yeah. You can't just stand on top of it like
but
you
can't
hear
stand
it.
still. And the best I ever got was I think 7, like moving down an inch at a time. I got like 7 eggs shipped before I had to turn around and go back up to the top. But then also chickens are walking into that space and like getting in the way. It's awful. And that was the big debate because in the USA version of the 3, that's the only one that you could get the super hoe and super sickle without waiting in real life time, 12 or 24 hours, 36 presumably. So you could do the field, but about half an hour faster. But the egg dupe, I think it was taking me, I think I was getting about 0.8 eggs per second. And so the egg dupe, if it's an hour total here, was taking me, hour 45.
Right. And it's a lot of variability too. You have to keep up that execution.
Right, exactly. I think I could do it faster, but I was saying 0.8 like on the low end. But still, like, I mean, I'm now 18 minutes into this one, and it's not, I mean, I don't want to say it's hard, but it's not easy.
No, it is hard, because you have to literally just keep, you have to keep pressing the button. I remember this is why I didn't test this very much on console.
Right. Yeah, I would say that, like, I'm probably hitting 4 or 5 A buttons for every egg I ship, because I'm just mashing, and a lot of it's, like, animation. So if I'm doing 4 button clicks for 3,500, I'm doing 14,000 A presses in 43 minutes.
Yeah.
Which, when I explained that to the doctor, is why I got carpal tunnel, because nobody else had done the Harvest Moon for Game Boy speed run. I don't know how that'll hold up.
Yeah.
More eggs per second, I would say, EPS. And my EPS is about 1.4 on average. Problem with that was that those tests were done on 2-minute trials. I would do 2 minutes and then see how many I had shipped.
Right.
And I'm really worried, like, it's more like 1.2, 1.3.
Because if you slow down significantly over,
or if I take a sip of my delicious beverage here.
Yeah, exactly.
But the nice thing is, once we get through this side of it, we're pretty close to the end. I mean, I'm actually probably a bit ahead of where I even thought I would be. I think we could come in closer to 230 than 245 or 3. That'd be cool. I would say that if I could get under 3 hours, I'd be happy. Oh, Turbo would help out a lot, and that's how I do it when I need to test on emulator, but not adjust the memory value with Cheat Engine. Is I just turn Turbo A on and hit the Turbo frame skip button, and you can get 5,000 under a minute. I learned a lot routing this game, about routing games and about looking at memory values. I really do recommend, if anybody wants to get into speedrunning, this is a great one to get in on because barely any hard tech or execution. And if you're looking at routing games, go back to April 2019 of the Harvest Moon for Game Boy Discord and just read down. You will go through the mental state of somebody who is routing this game. I put it all in there as much as I could.
No, and that's the best part about Harvest Moon speedrunning is really just kind of optimizing. It feels like you're still playing the game, whereas a lot of speedruns can really feel. I mean, this is a little bit different. Obviously, this is kind of a pretty abusive glitch, but I mean, other than that, in principle, a lot of times, especially for the longer Harvest Moon speedruns that are doing more of the game, you're basically just playing the game. Yeah, you're just playing the game through. You're not because it's non-linear anyway. You're not trying to skip sections of gameplay, because it's not like you're going through a whole bunch of different areas. You're always in the same town, you have your farm, whatever, but you're just kind of optimizing your planning, your resource management, etc. Time.
And that's what makes the games competitive. Once you're like, it doesn't. There's a lot of games I think that you can speed run without having to know the game. You just have to know the route. And Harvest Moon is not like that in most categories or most games. That's something Demo said during his Harvest Moon 64 run that we chatted about a bit. The idea of Harvest Moon is speedruns are 90% routing. It's 90% routing that I was like, it's also 10% rerouting when you're in the game. Like, that's where that real edge comes from, is you get that RNG or you get that thing that throws your route off, and you have to know the game well enough to reroute on the fly.
Yeah.
That I think is really the challenge of Harvest Moon, and why it's accessible, but you still have to really research the game in order to be good at speedrunning them.
Yeah.
And each game is so different. Or not every game is so different, but there are a wide variety of Harvest Moon games.
There really are. I think there's a lot for different kinds of people depending on what you're into.
Right. So we're about halfway through.
We are halfway.
I don't want to disappoint anybody. But don't worry, once we're done with this one, we still have a few more to go. But yeah, once I finish this, I'll be at 2 hours. I should, if I do everything right, have about 18 more minutes of egg duping. If you add in 4 minutes of stuff around them, that puts me to 222, then sleeping for a year and a half. I would say I'm going to be between 230 and 245. Yes, selling eggs is the fun part of the run. Mostly fun because I can put the controller on my desk and just tap it. Demo. Just what I needed. Just the encouragement. And I could just mash the A button. I don't have to be paying attention like I do.
Dude. Demo's got those lights turned low, curtains on, handles up, you know what I'm saying?
Put on some Harvest Moon for Game Boy.
Yeah.
My kitty cat is actually asleep. My boy decided not to join me. I actually used a cat manipulation to make him go to bed early. I gave him a can of wet food at like 8 p.m. Like, eat up, buddy, and go to bed. That's right. Don't need him bothering me. Yeah, the ending is pretty badass. You get a little cutscene.
you get to watch a little movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey man, when I first saw that for the first time, nothing will beat the excitement I had when I found that Ranch Master mark. I was like, this is it. This is what I spent.
So it does give you a little trophy on the table, right?
On the USA, and I'm assuming the color version, because you also get that in 2, right?
Yeah, but it's even in the Japanese version. There's a trophy on the table, yeah.
And I haven't determined if there's no way to get it in Japanese. It could be based off of other requirements not needed for credits. That seems insane to me.
Yeah, that would be silly, yeah.
Because
it seems like the credits requirements cover so much.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And I did max out all ending requirements, beyond even I got the 100,000, got 65,536 shipped or whatever, and still nothing. The only thing I could think is maybe upgraded tools, other tools, cow happiness, but never saw it in Japanese. But it is added for USA, and it says, this is a Ranch Master mark, everybody is jealous of you, and everybody longs. So it's not that's exactly what I wanted to see. After all the debate about whether our Ranch Master exists or not.
But no, yeah, back to the credits being exciting. That was actually an insane adrenaline rush for me when I first triggered them. Because, having no footage of it online, and then you get it not expecting to get it, it's insane.
Yeah. I was at work when I got it, and I was trying to express to people why it was a big deal. It sounded like a lunatic.
Yeah, there are no videos of it, yeah.
Yeah, that was the first thing I did was capture a little GIF of Me
Yeah.
looking at the Ranch Master mark. This is actually my first time doing the egg dupe without a break. It's pretty much what I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's
It would be a lot harder without commentary. Like I did this the other day. God, 10 more minutes. How? This is.
oh
this
yeah,
is
it's impossible.
bad.
Yeah, just sitting by yourself in your underwear in a dark room. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing that now, but you're here too, so
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and Dem was in his underwear too. So.
Hey, we're all in our underwear, we're pooping some eggs, watching the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Saturday night.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, another thing, cute thing. So he bought 2 chickens. You might
Yes.
think, why not just buy 1 chicken? Because in this game, the eggs are always laid in the same spot, and if you have 1 chicken, it gets laid there by the door. And only if you have 2 chickens does the second one appear in front of the shipping bin. So he needs the 2 chicken.
Yes.
Yes, you didn't mention that, but yeah.
And if you get any more chickens, they just kind of get in the way.
Yes, yeah.
And the watering can glitch doesn't work on any other egg from what I can. Not that it would be helpful or more helpful than this one. And I just have to wonder, like, could this have been an intentional, like, dev skip they put in?
It's very weird. Yeah, I don't know.
It's so perfect.
Yeah.
But I
I
wouldn't
don't
even know how to
know.
begin looking at why
Yeah.
or why it happens.
Because it changes the texture. Is that the texture of the logs?
I don't
like-
know. I never considered
post?
that even.
That's
I
what it
just
looks
kind
like.
of
It looks like that.
I thought it kind of looked like a stretched out egg a little bit on 2 sides, but now that you mentioned it, it is kind of the
It looks like a texture from the fence post, or some part of a building, or yeah.
yeah. Honestly, it looks kind of like the where you feed the chickens. Part of there, like the shading, a
kind
little
of,
bit. Nah, not really. I guess it's darker on the right hand side. Who knows?
That's true. Yeah. I mean,
The
it's all
shipping
just
container.
Game Boy. It's all just
Right.
Game Boy anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, part of the bin. I was thinking maybe. Yeah, it's weird though. I mean, if it weren't here though, this game would still not have a route for it. I mean, I would not be doing it.
Yeah.
If it weren't for the egg
Yeah.
tube.
I think DevilTube did 2 attempts, and both of them he reset after 10 to 12 hours.
Oh my god.
He had like 1,500 things shipped.
Now, did he only have 1,500 shipped, or was Grandpa only reporting 1,500 because it reset the counter, which is another version difference?
Yes, I was going to ask about that
Don't know.
actually. I forgot to ask about that. So it's say 5,000 count, right? Not the yearly ship count.
You dropped out a little bit there, but yes, there's 2 memory values where the ship count is stored. One that resets at the end of every year, and another that is total for the entire game. In the
Yeah.
Japanese version, Grandpa will, when he tells you your statistics, it's the right-hand side of the wall. Oh! So it's probably something to do with it being on the left-hand side. Huh.
It's a right-hand side wall. Yeah,
You see-
you could be
yeah.
right. Yeah.
I think, maybe. There's a bit of a gradient to it.
Yeah, it looks similar.
Very similar. Yeah, no, pixel for pixel, he says, so yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, it could be.
What was I saying?
Uh,
Do you remember?
You were saying, so the Japanese version, he reports
Yes.
your yearly ship count or your total ship
Your
count?
yearly. In the USA, he reports your total count. So
But
if
the
I
game
ship-
is still checking for your total
Totally.
ship count. Right.
In both versions.
So it's kind of confusing because the game's not telling you exactly
Right, because
what number matters.
at the end of year 1, he will tell me that I've shipped around 3,500 eggs. At the end of year 2, he's going to tell me I shipped around 1,500 eggs.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you can trigger the credits with him telling you've shipped 0 if you just meet the other requirements the following year.
Right. And you had already shipped 5,000 previously.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
12
But
minutes
so in
left.
the American version, he does report the total.
Yes, every year.
Okay. See, and that's just makes
Which leads
sense.
me to believe that that's what they intended it for it to be.
Yeah.
And they just messed up in Japanese. Yeah, somebody asked early on, I think Carthonis asked, was this done by an outside company? It's done by Pack and Soft. Do you know anything about them, Desert?
Oh yeah, so Video. And then Pack and Video became Pack and Soft. And then they became Victor. And then, or Victor Interactive. And then Victor Interactive became Marvelous AQL. And then Marvelous AQL became Marvelous in 2010, I think. When they got bought out.
Excuse me. Yeah, Carthonis is talking about getting with the B Team Dev Studio that put this together. And I was actually talking to somebody about that one time, and I made the comment, like, I doubt they remember. Like, you know, Harvest Moon for Game Boy in 97, like 23 years ago. Which is why I still say, you know, there are under 10 people in the world probably who really know the ins and outs of this game. And most of them are people who don't care, who just were in the wrong place when I found something out and I had to explain it to them.
Yeah.
All right, we are about 10 minutes left. 10 minutes and about 20 seconds.
Wow, this hasn't even been that bad.
It really hasn't.
I'm not the one pressing the button, though. You know?
I'm doing fine. I would not be doing fine without commentary. This is a place where, like, I just had the thought the other day of, like, you know, it's a world record no matter how I do. If I have to put the controller down for 30 seconds, it's not the end of the world.
Oh, whatever,
But here we go. We're doing it.
And we've made pretty good time this marathon. I mean, so we'll be around for the next 2 runs, and then as long as does he have a short version of his name? Just Steal Your Gill or Mr. whatever. As long as he's good to go on, you know, whenever Desert ends up finishing. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. We're already a little bit behind, but I think we're going to catch up.
Yeah, we're probably going to catch up, then fall behind again from what.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's what a marathon's all about.
That's all good.
I mean, when I submitted this game, I had never completed a run for it. I just kind of had to be like, oh, thank you so much, Raven. That's really cool. I just had to be like, you know, 3 hours, 5 hours, somewhere there. And it was 5 hours ago when I discovered the happiness glitch and the being able to get credits at end of year 2. I think both of those were within the last 3 weeks.
No, yeah, I was definitely within that time.
Yeah. It'll happen. We'll play some Harvest Moon. It'll be a good time.
This is also pretty good tunes. I like the music, so I can handle this. This isn't like an intolerable track.
Yeah, it's a good jam. It's better than sleeping, because when you're sleeping, you only get the first, like, 3 notes over and over again. That can get a little tedious.
Yeah.
And you're about to see that quite a bit. We're about to do some serious... Like, every Harvest Moon run should have some real good depression style. Not leaving your house.
Never leave your house, yeah.
I've always said that Harvest Moon speedruns are just depression simulators.
Oh, yeah.
I do think that the Harvest Moon Game Boy speedrun route is, from, like, a townsperson's perspective, the most lunatic person you could have. Like, they sleep for a month and a half till an earthquake when they go into the cave over and over again without leaving it.
Yeah.
And then they ship thousands of eggs all in the same day. And then sleep for a year and a half and are done for life. Yeah, originally, like, maybe 2.5 years ago, I was, like, with my friend, we were looking at different games and different speedruns. We're kind of getting into the whole scene. And we're like, oh, type in Harvest Moon. Let's see what they're like. And the first run we pulled up might have been Stardew Valley. It's like, okay, we're going to sleep for 3 seasons. So it's like, oh, no.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you think it is.
They definitely did the whole kind of the weird credit skip in at some GDQ from the original SNES. I remember seeing that as just kind of a 5-minute run at a GDQ, laughing at Harvest Moon speedruns. Yeah, right, dude. Little did they know.
Little did they know. Here we are.
Years later, here we are shipping eggs. Real serious, you know.
Tell us that our speedruns aren't, what's the word, desert used, legitimate.
Yeah.
I like being the black sheep of speedrun communities.
Hey, even Pokemon gets crap, and that's, I mean,
really?
that's like, you know, everybody plays Pokemon, and it at least has a real beginning and end of the game, just like, I mean, this game does too, but more linear in Pokemon. Yeah, Golden did, that's right. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was kind of bullshit.
Well-
It was kind of BS. I kind of didn't really. When I look back at it, I'm like, actually, that's kind of like rude.
I mean, back then though, were there routes for other games?
It was really
yeah.
just Weebles. It was just Weebles all photos, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we both saw photos and then all days and any percent for SNES.
Because
Yeah,
I do believe that there are categories of games that could draw the attention because it's a nostalgia game for a lot of people and it's like an interesting thing and it's different from other stuff they do. You could put a game or a Harvest Moon run into GDQ now. Back then, it probably would have been tough.
dude, all photos is hardcore. All photos is like the whole game. You're literally playing. Really,
Yeah.
like playing.
Yeah, I would worry about the
There's
length. Of,
exploitation, but
my worry with those is just the length of those runs.
I guess. But I mean, what do they have? Chrono Trigger at GDQ? GDQ is tough though. I mean, GDQ is just
Yeah, that's a bad example. I've always thought we should be pushing that ESA market, those weird Euro people.
Honestly, all kinds of marathons nowadays. I would love to see.
The really longathon, I don't know if you've ever seen the really longathon, where they like specialize in extremely long speed runs. That is made for Harvest Moon.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah.
Sam actually did an all photos run for both of those.
Oh, did he? Yeah.
Nice.
That doesn't surprise me. I can tell I'm like slowing down here with 5 minutes left. I can tell like I'm not getting this completely at all anymore.
So did you kind of overestimate? No, and it doesn't matter because you'll see the ship count.
Exactly.
Anyway, yeah.
There is a way that you can overdo it because you're limited by that 460 per day without overflowing. There's not a way to do it without taking 4 days. And you basically just run into a situation where for those 4 days you need a minimum of 350. So if you've shipped over 3,700 and some odd or whatever it is, you at that point are having to overdo 5,000 eggs. It's not optimal anymore.
Yeah.
But because it's a marathon, I am going a little deep on everything.
Yeah.
Like, I think at 1.4 eggs per second, I'm at 42 minutes exactly, and I'm probably going to go to about 44, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
In the same way I overdid the Harvest Sprite happiness at the beginning, just because I'm not looking to spend 2 hours of all of your time to be like, oh, I'm at 125 happiness, so that's it for this run.
No, yeah, you definitely want to make sure you...
Yeah. But hey, if anybody out there's looking for a game to speedrun, there's a lot of free space in this world record coming up here in a few days.
Oh, yeah.
3.5 minutes. We actually have less time on the rest of this egg dupe than we do on the other egg dupes. I have to come. So yeah, once I'm done with this, where we will be at the game is we will have over 1,600 items tilled. We'll have eaten 5 power berries. We'll have about 185 or we'll have shipped 3,500 items. Our house won't be upgraded. We'll have 2 chickens and no cows. So we'll start the game. We'll sleep long enough for the grass to grow so that we can chop some of the grass and not have to buy more chicken feed to feed the chickens enough so that they lay 2 more eggs and then give us 4 days of egg duping. That egg duping will put us up to 99,999 money or anything above 98,070. The 98,070 is necessary as a minimum, though, because we need to buy 2 more chickens, buy 4 cows, buy 750 packs of, or 500 packs, 50 packs of material, upgrade the house twice, and still have 65,536 left for the end game credits. So you need a minimum of 98,070, which is, I think, 1,500 eggs shipped, so 375 over 4 days minimum, or 1,400 shipped times 70 to get 98,070, which is 350 eggs per day for 4 days. Might be over that if I ship under 3,500 or 3,600. Everybody keep it up here?
Oh, I'm right there with you.
I feel like every time I try to explain it, like I lose track of it halfway through.
No, I remember working that out when I first looked at it because of the under.
Right.
And it obviously makes sense to do almost all of the shipment on the first day that you do it, and then you just want to measure out the rest, so you make sure you don't underflow it for the next, like you said, the 3 days. So you hit
4
you do
days, yeah.
450, 450, 450, and then
Yeah, I think there
roughly
is a combination you can do where you ship enough that you can only do 3 days.
Yeah,
but it's pretty tight, and I'm not a fan.
Yeah, there's no point to counting. That's certainly not
Right, it's better to use the extra day to just go well under that 460. Because if you overflow that 460 on day 3, you're done.
And then in this case,
you got to redo. Well, you're not done. You just have to redo those.
Yeah, the only difference in terms of time loss is you having to walk to the chicken coop basically and feed the chickens.
Feed the chickens and just like you're at the beginning of the 4 days again.
Well, I'm just saying in the sense that you're shipping 5,000
right
to the chicken coop. Yeah.
Yeah, how many times do you have to do that?
Yeah.
And as in my wildest dreams, I just don't think anybody will ever make this game competitive enough to really have to optimize to that level.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I think in the spirit of speed running, you still should attempt to
you're thinking about
close.
It. Yeah.
But I could see myself doing 1 or 2 more runs of getting my time down a little bit, but I'd be happy leaving it to other people.
Oh no, that's more than okay. Definitely, I might do. I'd like to do a run, maybe over the summer.
Yeah,
it'd be easy. Just do one run.
It's so easy. It's so easy. It's the easiest speed run, I feel like. So we've got about. I'm going to do 1 more minute. Get up to where it'll be about 44.5 minutes, and should be more than enough eggs. And also, yes, we have hit 2 hours. Probably got another half hour, 45 minutes total in the run. I appreciate you guys for sticking with us. I know it's it's a weird one, but history demanded it.
No, honestly, viewers are still pretty good. We still have a
Hey, God bless the lurkers.
Pretty good set of lurkers going on here.
I know I got some of my friends hanging out here supporting me. I really appreciate it.
No, that's great. Get the homies in the chat.
Yeah. All right, 30 more seconds. We are at 44 minutes on the egg glitch.
This man has stamina.
I am done. I've been switching fingers.
Yeah.
I've used my nose for about 10 minutes in there. Okay, 10 more seconds. I can finish this off. Okay, and there we go. We're going to go to bed for a while. Oh, it's hard to play again. Okay. So when we start the day off, just to show it, I'm at 0 money now because I shipped over 460. So that is now the fall music, I believe. Confirm that for me. That's fall, right? G-Hines?
I'm behind a little bit.
Yeah, that's fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is a proper fall theme. You know what I'm talking about, Desert? Right? This is proper. Yeah. I don't know what they were doing with the other game.
Yeah, GB2 is really weird.
Bizarre. No, this is a good fall theme, actually.
Oh,
go ahead.
Usually they're on point with the themes. Even if it's not great, they still have a winter-sounding song and a fall-sounding song.
Yeah.
This is the Harvest Festival event. She's just coming by to say she baked too much for the Harvest Festival, and we get a cake. And we go back to bed. Really, it's a bunch of people coming to my farm speaking Japanese, and I have no idea what they're saying, so I just wait for them to leave. Which is what I think is rude about that picnic event. They invite me to a picnic on my farm. They come here. They speak a language I don't understand, and then I wander off aimlessly.
Yeah. No, that's kind of the thing about the GB games too. Is the events are kind of a bit impoverished. You just kind of get a little cutscene where you just kind of stand there. The picnic is hilarious. You're just 4 people on a little.
Yeah, maybe
not even a real map.
I might accept the year 2 picnic just to get a picnic in here.
Yeah, just to see it, because it's really just, and you don't get anything for it. You just
No,
go.
no happiness.
They're just some NPCs, and they're just being, it's just a picnic. So
There's a few other ones where, like, if you stay out late into the night on a few days, you'll be automatically sent to an event. Winter 24 has like a Christmas Eve sort of thing like that.
Oh, really? I never knew
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, if you, I didn't know it until I was looking at events on, our random, wherever we find information on these games, and they mentioned just stay out late on these certain days and you'll get taken to an event that doesn't give happiness. There's 3 events that this is winter music. I think this is a nice winter song. It's very subtle. But anyway, there's 3 events in the 2-year route I use that give happiness. The Sprite, which is the one we abuse to get as much happiness as we need. There's another one coming up on the 20th of this month, and this is the 4th month. That's on the 20th day. So on 4/20, we're going to have I think it's Anne comes to the farm and has lost her bird on 4/20, and on 4/20 she wants you to go and find the bird. But as soon as you talk to her and accept the job, you get +10 happiness. You don't actually have to find the bird.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And if you find the bird, she just lets the bird fly away. So not much lost. Then on the 15th of spring in year 2, Nina is lost in your caves, and if you go and find Nina, you get +10 happiness. So those are routed into an optimal route. You only do the harvest sprite 8 times, and then those other events give the rest. There is an egg event where a little girl comes to your farm after you've had chickens for a certain amount of time or sold enough eggs, but I haven't been getting it lately, so I think the egg dupe is messing it up.
I do not know what triggers that. I don't remember. I don't know if I ever got it. But that is the egg change event. You have to.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it is. You just have basically you just answer yes in dialogue. And
right. The girl shows up there and she says, hey, can I buy an egg? And she buys one for 80G or 75G. Yeah. And the following day, she comes back and says, hey, my grandma said I paid too much. Give me my change. And you give her
exactly. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure she's scamming you. Like, I'm pretty sure that's from the movie Paper Moon. And she's like a con artist. And she's like trying to shortchange you. I haven't worked it all out on my own yet, but.
Yeah. No, I've seen it a million times.
Yeah, no. She says she wants the dollar bill with happy birthday written on it.
Yeah.
The whole thing is suspicious to me. But yeah, so the egg event would give +20, I think it is. Okay, this is Grandpa. So at the end of every year, Grandpa floats down here like the cocky bastard he is and judges you. We have 0 cows. We have 2 chickens. We have 1,621 till, which is good. 3714, which is higher than we needed. So I update my spreadsheet with 3714 items shipped, 0 something, 0 money. I have 248 happiness, so I am well good on happiness.
Whoa.
I've eaten 4 power berries. Oh, I forgot to get the Sprite power berry. That's okay. What we're going to have to do is get both of the power berries off the field. It's not a big deal. Yeah, Grandpa died and left us the farm. Like, Grandpa, dies, and in the beginning, I reset through his introduction, but Grandpa gives the farm and says, do well enough, and I'll judge your soul every year, and if you're good enough, I'll give you stuff for whatever he says. So because it's on my mind, I'm going to go get 2 power berries. What I was supposed to do, but forgot to do, is after you do your Harvest Sprite Affection dupe, he will give you a power berry, and I just forgot to go get it. So now I need 6, but there's 2 on the land expansion, so I can just go get one of those.
Dang. So you got a lot. You got. So I don't know if you answered this question in the chat.
Yeah.
They said, does tilling the field give happiness? Tilling the field, you get 1 happiness for every 64 tiles. Did you say that?
No, I did not. No, I definitely missed that.
So that's how it works. So 1,600 is required for the credits, but then happiness is also another requirement. But the tilling does give you some towards happiness because for every 64 you get 1 point. So then 1,600 divided by 64 is 25. So you get a total of +25 happiness for
right.
What he did on the tilling.
And I'll run, and I actually would run through that real quick. Basically, the way happiness works is you get 20 happiness per cow, 10 happiness per chicken. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to take this and run. I can't do what I'm about to do yet. 10 happiness per cow or per chicken, 20 per cow, 1 per 64 tilled. The first house upgrade gives you 10 happiness, and the second house upgrade doesn't give you any. I need to just sleep. So I'm going to sleep until an event happens for a reason I'll go into. So yeah, basically there's 3 events that happen in the first 2 years, guaranteed. The house upgrade, the chickens, the cows, and the tilling puts you at like 185. And that's where that Harvest Sprite dupe 7 times comes in. What we're doing right now is we're sleeping until the 15th of spring, which is the Nina event where she's asleep in the or she's playing in the caves. You have to go find her. Once you find her, you get that plus 10 happiness, which helps a little more, but also your grass is grown. So then we go cut some grass, and then we don't need to buy any more chicken feed because we'll run out of chicken feed trying to do the second round of egg duping if we need to.
All right.
Yes, everything involves the soil in this game. Regarding egg duping, that long egg dupe we all hung out and watched was 3,714 eggs. That is way over the amount I need. I think I said yes. I was kind of holding right. I hope I didn't accidentally say no. It doesn't matter if I did, though. I'm just going to go in here, and this gives plus 10 happiness is fighting Nina in here, which should put me at 255 because I was already at 248, which is crazy high. It's nighttime. That's right. But yeah. Cut the grass, and then we go in for egg duping. I had 3,714 eggs, which means that I need to ship 350 each day in order to get my money to above 98,070 in 4 days. This should be enough grass. So now we go and we start feeding the chickens. Because who doesn't want to do some more egg duping?
Okay, now we're chopping. Sickle time.
Yep, a little bit of sickle time, then
Nice.
right back to bed. Now, every day we need to feed the chickens. The chickens, if you don't feed them for a day, they take 3 days to start producing eggs again.
That's right.
So I think this will be won't be tomorrow, but maybe the day. Oh, these chickens are in my way. Maybe the day after.
And it's annoying because you do have to put away. You do have to switch to your hands to pick them up, right?
No, you don't.
You don't. Okay.
No, I've got a ciclet, or I've got chicken feed. Ooh, that was a mistake. I balanced it out. I did an extra one, so I would stay at an even number of chicken feed, but I actually might be out of chicken feed. That's why I cut that grass. You get 10 chicken feed for 500 G. So we're going to run out because we need to do 3 days to revive the eggs and then 4 days of duping. Cycling is good exercise. Uses 2 stamina. 3 if you do a whole big 180 or 360 in it. There are eggs. And we are out of chicken feed, but we have stuff in the silo. So we switch back to the watering can.
Right. So cows and chickens eat the same thing in this.
Hold on 1 second. I apologize.
That's okay.
Okay. Oh yeah, cows and chickens both eat grass. I think that's pretty normal. I think Harvestman 64 even. It's just fodder, or is that different?
No. Yeah, in 64 you have chicken feed.
Do you? Okay. We're going to do 4 rounds of 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Just because that's a nice round number.
Dude, 420.
So, Lamau. I'm going to do 2:17:10 because I started at 2:12. Basically, I'm over the amount of eggs. At 3,600 eggs, 4 days split up is 350 each day, which is the minimum amount you need to ship over 4 days to get them
Back to them eggs.
back to them eggs. Every day, more eggs. But once we do these eggs here, we're going to sleep until about midwinter. We're going to buy a few things, upgrade the house, and we are done. So I think we're looking right about 240, 245 on that timer.
Okay, damn, I better get ready then.
Yeah, you should get ready. See, don't let me forget, I said 217.10 though. Because I can't go too high. If I go too high on this and ship over 460 in one day, my money will have to redo the entire second round of duping. Yeah, run has gone real smooth so far, no problems.
No, it really
I'm glad I prepared. Oh, I'm worn out.
Yeah, this is very draining, I know. Yeah.
This is fun, though. I'm glad we got this together. I'm glad we got the whole game together. I know it's been kind of a, I don't want to say pipe dream of ours, but it's kind of like, oh, we should try and do that. Glad we did
I'm really glad that you did the work that you did on it. I had kind of reached a kind of a not a dead end with it. I could have figured out a lot of what you have. I guess I wasn't motivated to. It's always
Sure.
why these marathons are so cool. You get more people into it. It motivates you to, look for new things. You have people to cooperate with, other people to play and contribute, and it's always more fun with other people. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
the group commentary has been great. This is a nightmare to do on solo commentary. I'll tell you, I've tried it.
Yeah. No, it'll be the same thing for me coming up. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of sleeping, not a lot of shit, but certainly nothing like this.
Yeah, I was like trying not to talk too much about your game because it's like you've got enough.
Oh, that's all good. Yeah, we're gonna have time to fill, but we're still gonna have to talk about nothing. I mean, we just talk about other Harvest Moon games. This is great.
Absolutely.
It's been a great marathon so far. So.
Oh, it's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
I guess for those of you out there who are aspiring players who want to find a game that hasn't been cracked yet, I would suggest Innocent Life, which Ember commented on recently. Another I don't know that he's lurking or what, but I haven't seen him in a while, but he did post about potentially doing Innocent Life recently or earlier last month. I think he's just kind of hard lurking out there. And then Hero of Leaf Valley is another big one.
There are a lot of games out there. There are a lot of games, Harvest Moon big ones, that have categories without runs, be it just specific marriages or anything else. So lots of rowdy to be, lots of fresh runs.
It can be really easy to just get into the marriage categories too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is one of the Adrian and Dorina, I should say. Is one of the hardest parts. Is like getting the hardware you need necessarily. I mean, I probably dropped $120 to get my setup.
Oh yeah, so you bought a Game Boy player.
I bought a Game Boy player. You have to get the Game Boy player disc. You have to. I got a GameCube, and I got the cartridge. And the controller didn't work on the GameCube I bought, so I had to buy a different controller. So.
What?
All told, probably about 120. That's 420 for today.
Yeah,
Raven, thank you so much for keeping track.
A lot of these are run on emulator. I'm going to be doing my run on emulator in a bit, and I've pretty much played Hero of Leaf Valley on emulator. I think Ember did emulator as well. We have kind of a policy of for a lot of the game, not all the games, but at least the games that have gotten more competitive, we hide emulator runs by default, not to discourage them so much as to encourage people to use console.
There's too much variability with the emulators.
There is, and there's some other concerns. Just you can abuse certain things on emulator that Not going to give anybody any ideas, but so we just kind of encourage people to play on console. But obviously, for a lot of these games, especially for the ones that aren't as competitive, we just want to get runs up. And if you don't have access to the original hardware, or in some cases, it's very difficult to capture. Like for example, the PSP games. I don't know how you capture PSP. There is PSP TV or something, right? Or is it Vita TV?
No idea.
I can't remember what it is, but Desert mentioned it once.
Yeah, it's a Vita TV. And they're
That's
like
what I
super rare now because people are modding them.
Oh, okay.
So I finished my first day of egg duping, and I checked my money and added that to my spreadsheet. Put in my spreadsheet that I had 25,550 money, and that says that I duped 365, and so it says to dupe the next round. I should dupe for 4 minutes and 6 seconds. I'm going to do 4 minutes and 10 seconds, which will get me to 222.10. And every day I update that, and it gives me a new average, and I try and go a little above that. Day I'm going to go like 20 seconds above that, just to be sure that I'm going above 5,000 items shipped and I have above 100,000 money at that point. Sleep till midwinter, buy the stuff. The reason I'm going to sleep till midwinter is that the house upgrades actually increase the amount of time it takes to go to sleep. Once you upgrade your house once, you have to turn left from the breakfast or from the dining table, and you run about 4 squares with no upgrades, maybe 7 squares with upgrades. So the first house upgrade isn't bad. The second house upgrade actually puts you into a separate room, and you have to press right down, right up, left, AA. And I know that because I've, even on an emulator with turbo turned on, there's no way around having to go right down, right up, left, left. Like, it's just monstrous.
You mean if you upgrade the house?
Yeah, if you upgrade for the second time, you have to like take a long convoluted path to go to sleep, and it adds like 5 seconds onto every day. Yeah. So you try and avoid doing that till the absolute end of the second year when you've already met every other requirement. So that the last thing you hit is that second house upgrade. Go to sleep, Grandpa comes back and tells you you're finally good enough. Got about 1 minute and 40 seconds left here on. Yeah, the first time the second run I did, I actually just forgot which music I was listening to, and was in year 2 and thought I was in fall, but I was actually in winter, and I slept through the end of the year without getting the ending requirements and had to do an additional year, and I was like, oh my god. That's what I get for not speaking Japanese.
Yeah, pro tip for anybody who plays Japanese, very easy to just memorize the
Memorize the what?
The symbol, the kanji for the season.
Yeah.
There's a few real simple shortcuts. You don't have to read Japanese; you just have to know a couple kanji, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah. But easy way to do it if you're.
It added about 10 minutes, and all it basically confirmed was that whatever I did today would certainly be world record. Right. Like, I do contend that in 23 years, nobody will have reached credits faster than I do this evening.
Oh, I'm sure definitely not.
For whatever it's worth, which ain't much according to the last 22 years.
Dude, sub 3.
Sub 3, baby. I think we're getting there. I think it's happening.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're at 210, or at 222.10. So we're going to go to bed, update the spreadsheet with our new money, and double check that we're still on pace. The first time I did this, I hit it exactly. I hit 1,400 eggs shipped on my second 4 days. And I was very, very impressed with that. And I don't think I'll ever do that again.
Yeah, it's very difficult to count properly.
Right. 50,400 means that I duped 360 again, which is right on pace. If you're doing it right, it should average you out to do all of them on time. Oh, why am I switching? I should do that. but it tells me that I should do 4 minutes and 1 second. I'm going to do 4 minutes and 10 seconds. So we fed the chickens for tomorrow, which should be the last time we need to feed them. We water our egg. We go back to empty hand. We get in position. We wait for a good time on the counter. I'm going to do it now. So we're looking for 227.10 or 227.20. I believe that I'm still in spring of this year, though.
Oh yeah, this is definitely the spring.
Yeah, because I just did the Nina event, which is 115. I have no idea what any of that means, but if it means I could get a power berry in year 1. Or another power berry. Oh!
FPGA.
My cat woke up and is now messing with my controller.
Field programmable gate array.
I'm pretty sure that doesn't have a way for me to not dupe eggs for 43 minutes, so until it does. Yeah, that little egg break I did right there. I had said 227.20. Sounds fancy. But yeah, I might go to 227.25 because I messed up. Or my cat messed me up. Obviously, it's digital, logical circuitry. Alright, about 2 minutes left on this one. He just wants to cuddle.
Yeah, so weirdly enough, there's actually a dev menu in this game.
What?
Yeah, you can change the year, season, and...
Where? You bastard! How are you
No,
telling me this 2.5 hours into my...
It's not accessible, but
Okay.
you can change the year, date, and money, I think, and do a sound test.
How do you find that?
I think just locking the screen value and cheat engine is how I found it.
Okay, that's crazy. Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that, Adarina. I always worry what will happen when the day comes for my cat. They're great little companions. Alright, 1 minute left. No poop yet, just him giving me kisses. I think he can tell my hands are sore. Alright, 30 seconds left on this one. Okay, that should about do it with that level of egg dupe.
So you think it'll be done in the next 20 minutes?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, I might actually
Get
be
yourself
right
ready.
back.
Yeah, no, take your time. G. Hines will be back with his run of Game Boy Color 2.
Game Boy Color 2.
Alright, so Updated my spreadsheet, says that I have 313 eggs left to dupe in order to meet my minimum money requirement. I have dropped 1 egg. So we are doing pretty poorly in terms of scrambled eggs, good in terms of money, though. Feed the chickens just in case I need to come back tomorrow, but I shouldn't have to. I understand that. What you're saying, Angelina, about living a long, happy life. So yeah, 3:45. I'm going to go for 4 minutes, which will be 2:32:20. Once I hit 2:32:20 on these live split, I will have duped enough eggs. I will have gotten all the money I need. Sleep through till winter 15. Buy the rest of the items I need. Sleep through the end of the year. Get some credits, and we can all move on with our lives. So, Desert, tell me about your run. What's to look forward to in Game Boy Color 3? All 100%.
Finishing in 6 hours.
Do you think you're going to make it?
Yeah, I feel like I could, but also there's a part-time work system, and I thought I could get away with doing 30 jobs for it, but it's actually looking like I'm going to have to do 50 to be safe.
Ooh. How long do they take each?
It's not too bad. Probably like 2 or 3 minutes per.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any RNG baked into there?
The only RNG is fishing, pretty much. You have to catch one of each fish.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember when I started this one, what time I said I was going to stop this? I think it was 2:32 something.
I have no idea.
Well, that's no good. We'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to go to 2:32:30. We'll be fine. Does HMV4 have same-sex marriage?
No, you can play as a different character.
Oh, okay.
But you have to marry your partner. But you can be a male or female, but you have to marry your opposite sex partner.
Yeah, they did allow 2:32:20. Thank you so much, dude. Yeah, they seem to allow that more on the portable side, playing as a girl. Before they brought it in. I don't think they brought it until Another Wonderful Life on console.
Yeah, I think so.
Unless Back to Nature girl. Wasn't there a Back to Nature where you played as a girl?
Oh, right. I think that came out in 2003 in Japan, or 2002, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that probably would have been first then. But that didn't allow both genders. That just redid the game for a female gender, I think.
Right, yeah.
Same with Another Wonderful Life, though, I guess.
Yeah, I think the only same-sex marriage in Harvest Moon is... Yes, it was a thing, and they called it the best friend system, and then now this year in Sauce Font.
Yeah, played as a female, I think it's kind of like, am I crazy, or is like that a thing in 90s games of making the female character selection the easy mode of the game? Have you run into that in other games? I know it's like that in Wave Race 64. You ever see that, Desert Penguin?
Yeah, I feel like there were a few games like that.
I feel like that's why this game is the way it is, in terms of it gives you a bit of a bonus if you start as trying to be like the easy mode of the game. Very progressive of Japan, obviously. Alright, so we've got about 30 seconds of egg duping left, so if you've got any more egg puns, make sure to get them in now. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah, a lot of games had that kind of mechanic. Alright, 2:32 and 20. Excellent run indeed. I appreciate the support. Okay, so now we go to sleep, and when we wake up, we should have 99,039. Somewhere close. As long as we're above 98,070, we should be good. We are good. We did an extra 100 or extra 10 eggs. That's not bad at all. That's really not bad at all. What am I doing now? I'm actually going to bed. So yeah, sleep until winter 15. So this is the 26th we're coming up on, which means the following day, the 27th, we get a chance to show off. We'll take a little bit of a time loss. And we'll show off what these picnics look like. She's asking, can we have a picnic here tomorrow? I'll say yes, and she'll say thank you. If you go to bed, you wake up the following day, and you're immediately pulled out into a cutscene with Maria, or whatever her name is in this game. It has been extravagant. And this is our picnic. We can talk to people, and they just stand there. That's an event in Harvest Moon for Game Boy. That's all you get. Big fun. So now we get summer. We'll have one more event. It'll be on fall 10. It'll be that Harvest Festival where we get a free piece of cake. And then, about halfway through winter, we'll get the rest of our items. Whoa, Eggman. Nice. I think I might actually watch that movie when it's available for download. Because I'm probably not going to go to a movie theater for that. So we're about halfway through summer now. I think we have to do about 100 to 105 days of skiing, and we're about a third of the way through. Oh, I'm sure if it makes money, they'll make a sequel. That's how movies work.
So you just sleep until the end?
You cut off a bit there, but yeah, we are sleeping now until winter 15. That's when we're going to buy the rest of the items and finish the house upgrades and finish.
Nice.
Yeah, now we get our banger fall music. I like this fall music. Oh, rainy day though.
Oh yeah.
Should have an event here in a few days for the harvest. That'll end the 10th. Once it's the 10th, we need to just do 35 days of sleeping and then do our big shopping trip. Yeah, okay, this is our harvest festival. Honestly, I didn't put together the name D-Dog until now, but I just realized why that got picked. I'm an idiot. Yeah, no, it's a nickname. Oh, it's fast. It's faster and it's a little more action-packed than Harvest Moon or egg duping. Yeah, I think we're going to come out right around 2:45. Each day takes about 4 or 5 seconds. So we've got 20, 24, 39. Yeah. All right, 28, 29. Now, you don't want to put off the house upgrade too late into the winter month because it does take 3 days for your house to upgrade both times. So that's about 6 or 7 days total. I'm not sure if it counts them at the day in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you definitely want to like save enough time for that to happen. But once you upgrade that house 2 times, your sleeping goes from about 4 seconds to about 8 seconds. So you want to put it off a little bit. I'll do 10 more sleeps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so we're going to do it. Oh, that's how you call your cat. Yeah, you have to go to the select menu and then hit a button and then go into another button to call your cat.
Call the cat?
Yeah, it's you hit select and then select again, and it lets you like pick from that menu. I'm not sure what all those do. We need to wait till 8 a.m. to do some shopping. Yeah, you might be able to tell. Pet, I don't know. Horse maybe isn't there?
Yeah, you can keep entering and exiting the town area, and every time it progresses an hour.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
today I learned.
times.
Today I learned.
Yeah, that's a trick, yeah.
Well, there you go. So I'm going to buy 4 cows. That's 1. That's 2. 3. And 4. And 1. And 2. And we need to buy 7 material. You need 400 material total. Oh, that was house complete. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 7 gives you 350, which along with the stumps you do at the field tilling should put you above 400. Puts you at like 446 or something. 446. So we're good on material. He'll come tomorrow to ask me if I'm good to update the house and take my money. I need to double check my money real quick. We got about 5 minutes left, I would say. 5-10 minutes at the most. Hey, Raiders, thanks for coming by. We are at the tail end of the Harvest Moon for Game Boy Speed Run. After this, we got Game Boy Color 2 coming up. These are the first time these games have ever been routed and run. So these will all be up on speedrun.com with the VODs here in a day or two. Hopefully. As long as the rest of this run goes correctly. Alright, so that's the house upgrade. And now we have to go get the house upgraded one more time. And hoping we should still have enough money left over. Oh, that's right, we can do this gimmick. This saves a little bit of time, actually. It saves about 30 seconds.
What does?
Leaving the town.
Oh,
I never do that trick.
Yeah, that's kind of neat though.
It's a good first Harvest Moon game. It's my first Harvest Moon speed run. So, good thing to start off on. Alright, so he'll come back tomorrow, which will be the 21st. He'll upgrade my house, which should be done by the 25th, and just have a few days of sleeping before we get the credits. I would say we've got about 3 minutes left. No. This is not my favorite Harvest Moon either, and really the only reason I routed it because there was no other run available for it. The SNES version, and really any version, is better than this, but we all decided that there should be a route and a run for Game Boy, so we put one together.
There's honestly a lot of speed games that are not great casual games. They turn out to be.
Sure.
This is not necessarily a great
This is not one of them.
you know. But I mean, you know,
thoughts there.
I feel that way about at least Save the Homeland. A lot of people might not. I like it casually too, but I think it's limited casually. I think speedrunning gives a lot to Harvest Moon in general as a series in terms of gameplay and replay value. But Save the Homeland is a good example. So,
like I said, I see this is the mobile game version of the Super Nintendo one. Like it really is.
It is. No, it is. Yeah, it is.
All right, so this is our last sleep. We will go to sleep now. Grandpa will come and judge us, and if we did well enough, we will get credits. We will hit the button, and we will be done forever.
All right, my fingers are crossed, bro.
All right, so we have 4 cows. We have 4 chickens. We have tilled over 1,600. We shipped over 5,000 with the 2 combined. We have 10 something. 255 happiness, 6 power berries. That should be enough. I'm getting some exclamation points. We'll see if this is credits. We are good. I reset my timer.
No, delay.
The time said.
No, I'm not sure when this time. I'm pretty sure time stops when you. At least I think that's what the rules say. We can always change it. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I hit the wrong button on my live split and I reset rather than stop split. But whatever the time there was. I think it's like 240 something.
Yeah, 244.04.
Let's go.
244.04. That'll be the official first speed run.
Thank
you so much. So first ever for Game Boy. Coming up next though is the first ever Game Boy Color 2. So definitely stick around for G Hides running that. I might pop in on commentary after I take a little break.
No, please take your time.
Yeah, I really want to extend some gratitude over to the people who ran the marathon, who put this together. Like, this was kind of a new game. It was kind of a bit of a risky one just because it wasn't a full route, and being able to put it together and show it off was a big goal of mine. I'm glad we were able to get there. Thanks to G. Hines and Desert Penguin for routing the game before I even started on it. Uber for the work he did. I built off the work they did, so wouldn't have got it done without them. Yeah, thanks so much, and I will hope to twitch.tv/RobotJesus420. Give me a follow. I'll do some more runs. Come check it out. Thanks so much, guys.